Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Bergucci, and here with a few friends in the Delaware County area, we get in a basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic is, of course, going to be the Game Awards 2025 predictions. Let me introduce my co-host before we get into the fun. Of course, on my left, as always, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
Gooch, thanks, Jeff. It's another year of Game Awards coverage. I'm excited to talk about what I truly think has been a stellar year in gaming. And you know,
I'll officially dub it the year of too many good games.
I agree with you.
This has been a tumultuous year of very, I would say, between mid and high tier releases.
Easily. So, yeah. I mean, there's so much to get into. There's so many games to talk about. There's so many snubs I'm ready to fucking fight on.
Dude, this year with the awards, I think I have the most comments I've ever had about, like, we got to get rid of ongoing and community games, like the performances. I have a lot of critiques just about what was nominated, and yeah, more than
how certain even awards are set up now. Because like I don't know, we'll get into it, yeah. But I agree with you 100%, man. But I'm excited to chat a little for sure.
Yeah. But before we get into the topic, we usually talk about what we like, what we're playing, what's going on, what we're doing, et cetera, et cetera. Trio, you had a big month last month, didn't you?
Little bit of housekeeping for me, Gooch, if you will. Yeah, so I got engaged. Thank you to the love of my life, Miss Tamir's Denise. She's wonderful. We're figuring everything else out now, but of course, everyone's first question is, when's the wedding? And it's like we just got it together, so we'll get there. But dude, it's exciting. We're excited. Yeah. She loved the ring. We actually were just looking at engagement bands yesterday, and we picked out one first. So that I did.
So wait.
There's like
you said that there's an engagement ring and a wedding ring
and the wedding band. So like the engagement ring is what
There's three?
No, there's two.
Oh.
The engagement band, the engagement ring, and the wedding band. So like the engagement ring is what you obviously pop the question with, but the wedding band is what's like put on the ring, the finger, like as the when the actual ceremony happens, like put the ring on. It's at least I'm pretty sure that's.
Dude, I don't think I've ever.
I didn't realize that either.
Thought about that like that. Like,
and then she's got like a very specific like it's a sapphire and it's a bigger gem, so we had to find something that like kind of fits and like complements well with it. We found a really good spot in King of Prussia. I'm not going to name them quite yet. They might get a free because I want to see how. No, they were guys.
No. I was going to say, you're going to name drop them.
No,
right now,
I'll name drop them after I get once I get everything
back.
I don't have any reason. They seem like wonderful dudes in the KOP mall. They really made me feel comfortable about it. They're resizing her ring and then doing a little bit of custom work on the band. But yeah, man, really exciting stuff. New time of life, and you know another kind of life event. My grandma did unfortunately pass away a month or two ago. Which hey, she was 91. She had a fantastically full life, but it definitely feels like I'm hitting 30 next month. New phases, Gooch. New stuff. So you know what I mean. It's interesting, but yeah, that's really kind of it. Other than that,
I'm very proud of you.
Thanks,
I'm looking forward to experiencing your marriage vicariously through you.
I can't wait to. Yeah, absolutely.
How will Trio's life change? From what I understand, not all that much.
I mean, yeah, we've been living together for the last 3 months
feel
now
like
already.
It's like, how's marriage changing? No, and everyone usually is like, no.
Nah, it's mostly the same.
Usually it's the kid that kind of
I would assume
introduces these huge changes of like living.
And then when you're like where you're living, so hopefully the idea would be maybe ideally we can get a house within the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, you staying put there for a while.
That's I think we'll probably try to get a 2-bedroom next time around next year, just so that way we have like a little office room on top, and then we have our bedroom.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, we're probably sticking mostly around the same area unless anything changes with my job and all that stuff. But good stuff, Gooch. Life is progressing and all. But any life updates for you? Anything else? Or do you
Not really. The job search is still a train that is fully on blast, and occasionally there's a deer in the train, and I destroy that deer.
And it explodes.
Yeah. It's fucking miserable, man. I wish I had more. I've been interviewing and stuff. I interviewed for a job that like gave me like the biggest mental breakdown because it was like an AV installation, so like blue collar. And I interviewed for it, and I'm like, I in no manner of life can see myself doing this. Right. This is like a total life change.
Right.
And like, I'm like, and it's weird because they brought me in, we were like interviewing for it, and like they bring people in without experience. It's the kind of thing you need to teach. Like, I don't even think you like can go to school for AV installation exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, sort of in the sphere of what I do, but not really, but like,
Right.
yeah, at the same time. And so like
in the same
the
quadrant
interview
to
was
a
really
degree.
good. I ended up not getting an offer, but I was just like, dude, I don't think I want to do this. Like
Right.
this is crazy. Like I oscillated in the middle of the interview. It's like, oh my God, like what am I doing? And then like, no, this kind of seems like the job actually seemed like pretty good. But
And
like,
interesting, yeah.
7 to 5, dude.
That's tough. That's tough. And
Like,
because
I'm
you're
driving,
driving
like, a
around everywhere, right? Yeah. And
Yeah. So
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I-
it would be an absolute change of lane.
I actually I paid to get a resume written up.
Oh, nice.
That was like the latest thing. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna like pay to get a resume done.
Gooch, I think unfortunately, you're
'Cause to
doing
get
everything you
past the
can.
bots.
Yeah, all the bots, but even like there's so many ghost jobs out there now and stuff too. From what I'm seeing,
Dude,
there's so much bullshit.
I got scammed the other week.
yeah.
I was emailed by a real company, not by the real company, but a real production company in Jersey. I checked them out; they were legit, small.
Right.
So like this kind of approach like made sense. We're like, hey, we see you're looking for a job. It's a video editor role. Like we're reaching out. They sent me like a questionnaire. Hey, are you interested? Cool. Here's a 15 question questionnaire, and everything on the questionnaire like was very normal. Things I've answered before, but like extensive. I took like 5 hours to finish this out.
Wow.
It was a scam.
Yeah.
I sent it in. Congratulations, you got the job. I haven't talked to
Anyone,
anyone.
right? Yeah.
And yeah, and I was
Like,
just,
did they ask for any like specific information? Or
No,
anything? Like it was just
that's
random.
the thing. They didn't click this. No, click this link. No, what's your social? Like they had my
Yeah.
name and my email address and my phone number, but like it didn't feel like a normal. Here's the job. Click the. I've seen those kind of scams before. And
Right.
we all sort of have.
Dude,
Like it
some
wasn't
are
like
really
a
good
normal
now.
fish.
There was one I got. It was like, I don't know. I think I told you about it when I got it. I might not have. It was like a job interview thing from Meta, like Facebook Meta, like the
Yeah.
And it excuse me, it looked very legit. It like had the header, it had everything going on.
Yeah.
And then like I clicked into it, and the Facebook page, like the link looked just weird, but it looked like Facebook. It was like log into our Facebook chat and I'm like, I don't know about this. And I Googled it and I was like, yeah, this is a scam. I was like,
Yeah, dude.
shit. You just never know. It
Yeah,
looked very legit,
yeah.
except for like one weird thing in the URL. I was like, I don't remember what exactly it was, but it tipped me off. I'm like, this seems odd. I don't know. But I'm
Yeah.
sorry, man. It's frustrating. And I the only thing I can hopefully like that you can hopefully take a little bit of solace in is that, I mean, everyone, it just seems to be like the fucking thing right now.
Yeah.
Like there's just it's insane. And I know.
I mean, I don't want to.
No.
Well, I'll
No.
call him out by name. Mike Lasacci is in a similar position I am. He got
Yeah.
laid off from his job like a few months ago, and he's in a totally different sphere than me. He's in like financial planning, I think.
Sure.
He's in finance, and he's having and he got a good severance package from his job, and he can't find anything either. And I'm just like,
It's
yeah,
fucked, man.
it is truly fucked. And the only thing I'm nervous is now we're moving into the holidays, so like I had an interview last week, a first interview that went pretty well, so I'm hoping that interview process continues as we get into holiday, because I feel like job postings, new jobs are going to stop as we get into the end of December.
And just not even the posting of it. It's like the people just keeping up with their postings of like, yeah, they're out for the month. Yeah, like, yeah, they're on vacation. They're not really responding to people.
It's so funny with any job. Once you get into December, everyone just fucks off for like an entire month.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I could nail something down for the beginning of the year at this point, that would be.
I mean, even like this
really
next
ideal.
week, like Monday and Tuesday, they're farts in the wind for the most part.
Oh
I feel
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like
I'm gonna do my application stuff. Like people are still working, but you're right. Like
Yeah.
everyone is just kind of checked out for a week, and then like we'll begin to check out like 1 or 2 probably weeks of work, and then like check out
Again.
the rest of the year.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wild shit. Well, good luck, my friend. I hope
Yeah.
it bears fruit soon.
Yeah, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what have you been playing? And I mentioned before, right before we started recording,
Yeah.
I wanted to approach it differently. Why don't we both talk about the games we're playing, and then we move into movies. We talk
Okay.
about that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you can pick whatever you want to start with.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, we'll go with games to start, and we'll start with one that I feel like we've both been playing.
Yes.
Battlefield 6.
Yes,
Been
Trio
getting into it with the
got
boys.
it after our review. He said he was a little convinced. And
then I was
his
talking to
friends
some
got
other.
it.
Yeah, we had some other folks jump in. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll drop the $70. And you know what, Gooch? It's fine. I'm enjoying it. It's good. It's very much a return to form, like you guys mentioned for Battlefield 6.
Yeah.
It's great to hop in with everyone. That's been definitely my favorite aspect to hop into, the Tiki Hut or the what is the Gooch channel called?
Gooch's Gaming Grove.
Gooch's Gaming Grove. My apologies. Yeah, the Grove or the Hut, and chat and hang with the guys. So it's been fun. I mean, I do echo the sentiment that you guys were talking about with the maps, or I think maybe Tom was. They just feel a little tight.
So there's a new one that came out with the Battle Royale Red Sec. It's called Eastwood, and the Conquest version of that map is very good.
Feels good.
Next time we play, we should turn off all the other maps just to get into the Eastwood, because that's what I'm looking for.
All right.
I like in terms of like the map size and stuff like that. Yeah, season 1 has been kind of weird. They've been introducing a lot, and I feel like that's kind of what Marvel Rivals did. It's like I feel like every week like there's something new going on, and it's great, but it's also like kind of like overwhelming at the same time.
Absolutely.
Like I'm like, oh my god, there's like another new there's like a 17-day tier thing going on for it's like
you don't want to miss that.
It's not like a battle pass. It's like I don't know, like a little limited time thing going on for the season, and then the battle royale dropped, and that's been pretty interesting as well. I was just playing it this morning with some friends. Battlefield 6 has been fun, but not that I'm playing it less, but like it sucks being this age, because it's just like everyone's like schedules are.
I know, you just can't figure it out sometimes.
Lining shit up
to
play. Yeah,
you'll text me like, "Hey, can you play?" I'm like, "Well, Tamara's is watching the Great British Bake Off, so I can't right now, and I'm not going to stream that to my iPad because it's funny. I was thinking about getting a Portal again this year, Gooch, but I can play it on that. I can do exactly what the Portal does on that, just with a controller. And I'm never bringing it anywhere with me, so I don't know. Either way. But yeah, no, Battlefield 6 has been a blast. I got to say, it's been really nice to jump into. It feels nice to get back to the more, grounded, definitely kind of gameplay.
Yeah, and it just one more point on it. What Tom was talking about, the skins and stuff, I look at like the Battle Pass, and I got the Battle Pass, and I'm looking at the skins, and I do kind of feel like I'm like, eh. Like, even it's like, okay, this is like it's got like, like these orange tints, and it's not like super flashy, but like,
doesn't feel
even
right.
The fact that the flash is there, I'm almost like, I wish it just wasn't that at all.
Right.
Like, I kind of like how like minimal, like it's just a gun, and there are camos, but like you're not unlocking those camos from the battle pass. Like, yeah, I it's interesting because I've never really had that thought before. It's like, with Apex or like Marvel Rivals, I was never like, oh, like these skins are weird, but like I'm like, no, like this is kind of like ruining the immersion a little bit. But never in a game do I see somebody and go, wow, that guy just ruined my, there's Beavis and Butthead running across the field.
I feel stupid. I do think there is like a bit of a difference when it comes to a Marvel's, like especially something like a Marvel Rivals, where that like the suits is part of the game for something like a game like that. I feel like to go extravagant and to go kind of wild, and they have so much to dip into I want to see those wild and interesting and cool suits and designs in that game, but I don't want to see that in a grounded setting like Battlefield, like you're saying. Like I don't want to see a bright orange. I don't know. Again, that makes maybe more sense in a desert setting or what have you. The
polished. I mean, it's like a really polished gun with like gold or like orange accents, and it's like, again, it's not super flashy, but like it's just enough that I'm like,
it just starts to make you think.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel in place. I totally understand, man. I really do. But other than that, I've been playing a little Ghost of Yotei. I'm still chipping away.
As have I.
It's, I said this last time. It's a fantastic game. I just don't know if I'm in the right headspace for it now, because every time I get on it, I'm just not hooked. And I feel like I'm trying to
towards
force
the end, and I've never been hooked. We've been talking about this.
Yeah.
I think it just came out the last time we did a monthly, and I'm liking it. I think it's better than Tsushima. But there's something about it that I just like, I'm not really interested in, but like I am at the same time.
I do think it comes down to the setting for me in a few ways, just because like, there are a lot of kind of critiques I could make about Yotei that are also things I love about Red Dead. How it can be a little slow. You're kind of going through a bit of somewhat of the same motions for each mission.
Yeah.
You're riding somewhere, you're killing someone, you're doing a cutscene. And like, I don't know why, just for Yotei.
And then you hit points on the map.
And then like, obviously Yotei's a much more arcadey, but I still think it leans more towards the immersive side that Red Dead likes to tap into. But I don't know. It's not making me want to pick up the controller every time. It's not making me want to spend hours with it when I do pick it up. Like last night I picked it up and I got to the Kitsune region. Like I did that little smaller region and I finished that up, and I just like
that
and then I was like I needed to get to the new region, and I did that mission only, and I was like, I don't really feel like playing anymore, so I turned it off for now. I think I'm just gonna stop forcing myself to play it for like a week or two, and then just kind of maybe go back in a little bit more clear-minded.
Like I do like one campaign mission, and then I'm like, Yeah, I think that's all I want to do.
Right.
Yeah, like
It's like, oh, there's another fox den for me to run after, or like, and it's again, well done, but also the game is fucking beautiful. Too.
We'll talk about it in terms of the Game Awards when we get to it, because I don't really think it's deserving of a lot of its nominations.
Sure.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's like, oh, it's the Sony first party title of the year, therefore it like has to be in the Game Awards. Like that's kind of what I feel. I'm like, dude, we already had, like, it's kind of like with Spider-Man 2. I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about that a lot, especially with like Death Stranding. Being like, it's a sequel. We've seen this before. This isn't novel. We've gotten this before. It's another third-person action open world game from Sony, which is like all they put out nowadays.
Sure.
And it's just like, we've seen this before. It's not really bespoke. When like, okay, like I can understand why like Death Stranding is nominated, or
see, I would also
Expedition 33 and all that shit.
I would kind of put Death Stranding in that same bucket for me, honestly, because it's just
it's
another
it's
an there's a lot of exactly,
yeah.
and I mean retread in the best possible way, because like I think a lot of those systems are incredibly well crafted and fun to use.
Yeah,
but it's very much you're doing the same type of thing in Death Stranding too, but the story is different and more, and that locks me in a lot to a different degree. I agree, Gooch. I don't know. It's sitting in a weird spot for me. I think it's a really well-made game. I think it's deserving of praise. Like, it's beautiful. It plays well. The story is interesting so far. I do think it's really a me
the
thing
characters,
for me. Yeah,
all better than Tsushima. Everything.
Yeah.
Like I'm much more attached to the characters in Yote and what's going on, especially as once you get past the Kitsune, like another part comes. It's like, oh wow, this is like adding another dimension that I really didn't expect this to add, and it's good.
Did you do the Oni before the Kitsune?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm curious if there is a specific order you have to do things in.
Yeah.
At least those first three.
I'd be curious too.
Like the dragon and the spider is definitely like end game. I'm curious how it bars you from going there, because like what happens there is stuff that's like
Oni, especially, like there's a reveal in that section that's like pretty big.
Yeah. You did that first, right?
That was the first one I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ghost of Yote, it looks gorgeous, dude. It really does. Like I'm in love with the photo mode, and even the motion.
I think the photo mode is pretty trash.
And the way like how it's, I think like
you can't pose Atsu enough. I think it's really limited. Like especially in the filters. I'm like, I feel like this could be so much more.
Yeah.
And like compare it to like Death Stranding 2's. I'm like, I don't know, man. I
didn't really use Death Stranding 2's, which is funny. I don't know why.
I feel like Death Stranding 2's, there's so much more. Especially in the way of posing the character, and I'm like, why can't I pose Atsu?
Definitely. See, it's funny. I don't really use that feature, I feel like, a lot in most photo modes. So I'm more of like, I just want a nice picture of the environment, or maybe just them standing and just kind of standing in the distance.
Like a candid them walking or something.
Exactly.
Like that.
So but I hear you. That's a fair critique for sure.
We've also both been playing The Outer Worlds 2.
Right on my list as well. We're locked in here.
Definitely one of my games of the year. I think it's gonna make it once we get into January. I'm loving The Outer Worlds too, man. I'm on the Golden Ridge planet.
Yeah, I'm also there.
Slowly but steadily going through it.
I feel like so I think I fucked up a little. I think I'm a little underleveled at Golden Ridge. Did you do stuff like out? So
I'm on very hard. So
I did everything in the first area.
Yes.
Did you do anything like in the space like port before going to Golden Ridge?
Yeah, I picked up a quest with Tristan.
Yeah.
To go to Golden Ridge, and I like looked around and like bought some stuff, and then I went to Golden Ridge.
I do feel like I don't know. I was playing on regular, like normal, and I feel like the damage is wild. Like I'm getting fucked up so quickly.
I had a bug, and it turned my difficulty down to normal. I don't know if I was going through the menu and maybe I hit it, or what. But like I'm loading in, and like the main menu is pretty interesting.
It's almost like a
like a dialogue.
Like a dialogue, and
and the Moon Man's like, playing on normal, huh? And I'm like, no, I'm like, no, I picked very hard, and then I see like I'm on normal, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I guess I'm gonna lose out on my achievement.
Is there an achievement
I put it back to very hard. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, like I guess I'm gonna have to chalk this up. Like there's no way I'm restarting the game for that.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
frustrating.
We'll see what happens. Because like there may be an ending like in the first one where you just drive into the sun, and you can get to that in like 30 minutes.
Right.
If you speed run through it. So if there's something like that, I'll just kind of cheese it. But there are enemies that one shot you.
Yeah,
and it's like I'm like, dude, I don't really like.
Even on normal, I was getting like 2 shots. Like, and I'm like, I'm not vastly? Yeah, dude. I jumped it down to easy because I was getting so frustrated. I was really getting so fucked up.
There's a lot of camps I go through, and I'm just like, I am getting like
just pummeled. Yeah,
like 1 shot. I mean, I was killing like a bounty in Golden Ridge, one of those brothers.
Right.
Yeah, and the one, and I was just like, I put my shield thing on. It like takes some damage, but like when I'm just normal health, 1 shot.
Dude, destroyed. I think that balancing is off.
I think there's some balancing issues in Yote too. I'm like, why are RPGs they're so notoriously bad difficulty? Like it never feels fair. It always like, I don't want to be one-shotted. I shouldn't be getting one-shotted.
I agree with Yote, especially. Like, I don't know. It's weird because you're like you're sword fighting, so you could get one-shotted with the sword in real life.
Sure.
So that's a bit more acceptable to me.
I've been oscillating between hard and lethal. Like I started on lethal and I'm like, I can't beat this duel. But all the boss fights I've finished on lethal.
No, lethal's hard and it does just come down to damage they put out. And I think they do take less damage from you on lethal. I assume.
Yeah.
Which again, I don't know how I feel about that specifically. I haven't had a major issues even on hard,
and then go like the damage outputted by me, put it to easy.
Yeah, no, well, and hard, I gotta say,
I think
is pretty balanced.
There's no trophy in your
right. Yeah, and I don't know. I think like you get 2-shotted basically on hard for the most part, and that I feel like is reasonable enough for me where I'm not getting super annoyed. So I've been kind of oscillating too. I don't know, man, but I do think the Outer Worlds, that's a major issue with it. I'm just getting fucked, and I'm like, am I under-leveled here? What's going on? I'm not running into, because people have, like, the skull emblem if they're way too over-leveled, and you go up to them, and, because I went to the what's-it-called base way too quick in the first area by accident. Like, I was doing a quest.
Fox.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, wait, I shouldn't have come in here this early. And then I had to backtrack out. There were a bunch of guys, like, high-leveled enemies. But, dude, I really do like the Outer Worlds, too. I think Obsidian really kind of locked in on this one, especially when it comes to their dialogue system and how your perks kind of interact with everything and the different dialogue options that you get to use. And it comes back to that thing of like, oh, I can just talk my way out of a fight. I always love that. I think that Obsidian has something very interesting here. Did you see the thing from the KCD director?
No.
So I can't remember his name. He put out like a tweet after he finished Outer Worlds 2. Okay. And it was something to the effect of like, you know, why doesn't Obsidian like do anything really new in their game, like especially with a backer like Microsoft. And like he thought it was like, he gave it like a 7 or an 8, I think, in his like review, quote unquote. And he brought up, I think, some fair points, some points that I just feel like, you know, I don't think that's the kind of RPG they're going for. I think you guys, especially at KCD, are doing something very immersive and a little bit in a different lane. But if you get a chance, I would not right now, I'm saying, but if you want, at a certain point, definitely look up the tweet. I think there's some fair points, some weird points. But I don't know. I think the Outer Worlds sits in a very, I don't know,
7-8 area.
7 to 8 area, a high 8, I would say. Right, actually, yeah. It's fun. It's engaging. The gunplay is, I think, much better. I don't love the menus though. Again,
I think it's interesting and the map. At the point how Obsidian is making these like high tier AA games.
I agree.
Like especially like we avowed Outer Worlds 2. Pentiment is kind of excluded from that. Neither of us have played Grounded. I think you actually played.
I did. Yeah.
You played Grounded, not Grounded 2. Yeah, and it's at this point, it's like, why are they making games like not at a low tier, but like, I feel like they could be pushing the boundaries. I
agree with you, man. Yeah. Because you even look, they're like, we're not Bethesda, and I get that, but like you have Microsoft resources, like you guys,
and some good
and some great writers and people behind it. But
what is Josh Sawyer up to?
Is that who did Pentiment?
Yes.
I mean, the rumor is the Fallout New Vegas 2 or whatever, like some type of. But like,
he didn't work on Avowed or this. He's on a different project or Grounded.
Apparently, they have like multiple Fallout things going right now. Obviously, they have the 2 remakes. They have Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas going. And I'm not saying Obsidian. I'm saying Bethesda in general.
You think there's a New Vegas remake?
Oh,
there's definitely a 3.
There's a 3, and I would bet money that there's a New Vegas remake of some. And I feel like I've seen things online, people talking about it. That's very much still a rumor, though. I will preempt that.
Right.
But I don't know, dude. I would love to see fucking Obsidian given the keys to the kingdom and be able to do another Fallout of some kind. That would be amazing. But
yeah, I mean, we're about to approach season 2, and you know we have the 76 update, which is great. But like again, I know Todd. Said like we don't want to release 1 and 2 on console, but I'm like, I would love that.
Just make them keyboard only. Like it's funny how scared I feel like companies are to make a keyboard only game on the console, because all of them support it, right? I mean, I think so. I actually tried playing Outer Worlds with the keyboard after playing it on, because I started it on my PC and it was running shittily. So I switched to my PlayStation and I actually had like a keyboard and mouse going, but some of the functionality wasn't working quite right. And like there was this weird, like when I was panning with the mouse, there was like a weird, like jagged, like the way the camera would move.
There's a tear.
Yeah, but like when it wouldn't happen at all on with the controller. So I don't know. It was weird. I ended up not using it. But those games are definitely a little bit more tailor made for a mouse and keyboard. I like the way it's set up. Anywho, Outer Worlds 2 is fun. Anything else for you on that, Cooch?
Not on Outer Worlds 2, but I do have some more games.
I do too. Yeah. Do you want to go?
Yeah. Hitman 3. All the achievements. I'm done.
How long that? You did that pretty eloquently, if I do say so myself.
Yeah,
you went through that.
It took me July till November. It took me about 160 hours.
Damn.
And yeah, I have to admit, it's like as much as I've done of Hitman, I'm not gonna like talk at length about it, but like there's still so much more I didn't play.
Yeah, of course.
Hitman World of Assassination is such a package of just like there's so much game there that like most people aren't gonna play.
Well, it's basically 3 games too.
I know, but between like the sniper mode, of course there's the campaign, the contracts, then there's like the elusive targets, and like they have like other weird targets. Like there's so much. They have freelancer mode. Like Hitman,
Eminem's the new target.
Yeah.
So the real Slim Shady.
Yeah. It's a play off of his new album. Which I don't know if you listened
I didn't
to
really
Eminem's
look
new album. So it's kind of like Slim Shady being an alter ego to Eminem, and he's like a different person, and he's like sort of like fighting Slim Shady because Slim Shady wants to come out and say retard in his album, you know, like, and it's a take on like PC culture. It's pretty interesting. It's not his best album, but like that's the idea of it.
I think the last Eminem album I really listened to was like
Recovery.
Yeah, maybe
High School. Yeah, I think that's most people.
Is that the one with Rihanna?
Yes. Yeah. Because that was when he like got clean.
Just gonna stand. I'm sorry, I won't continue or else we'll get copyright strike.
Yeah. I didn't listen to Kamikaze. That was his album that came out in like 2018.
I couldn't tell you what any of his recent ones were.
Yeah, Houdini is his one song off of his newest album. That was pretty well played. Like a
stole
radio
it from
song.
Dua Lipa, I see.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm done. I think I'm gonna return to Freelancer right before First Light comes out. We'll talk about more First Light in a little bit here, but yeah, it was a great experience. I definitely got into a mode where I was looking up guides. Let me shout out Mr. Freeze 2277 and Executor Gaming. They have some masterful, like, you can do all these challenges in one run kind of guides, and because some of that shit is hard.
Yeah,
like you have to be really intuitive to figure out some of those challenges. And like, how do you get this person over to the toilet and like, or like, you know, do this specific thing or set up this specific way. The game is not for dumb people. You can go about it really simply and just kill targets, but it's definitely like you want to do something cool or funny, or, you know, like that's definitely the point of using, be creative about your kills. And I think Hitman's got a vibe that's like kind of very unique to the rest of the industry.
Well, and it's so unique in the fact of, obviously with RPGs, you have your own journey through it and you come away with your own story to a degree. But like Hitman specifically, like it just gives the player so much choice that like your experience with it is going to be so much different from my experience with it, especially just depending on how we play, considering you did even all the trophies just to begin with. Like there are certain things in that game that you've seen probably now that I have never seen. So it's really interesting, really.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I'm glad you finished it.
Yeah. It feels like it could take itself so much more seriously, but it doesn't.
No, it's definitely a little bit wacky, if you will.
I got 2 more games. What do you got?
I got 4 more, but 2 of them will be quick.
Okay, go for it.
All right. So first up, we got the KCD2 expansions.
Nice. I've been seeing you on them, and I'm like itching. I'm like, I want to go back.
It's been fantastic to jump
back.
They're all
out.
Yeah, they are. Getting back into the world of Bohemia has been really fantastic. It's been nice to be back in Henry's shoes. The Blacksmiths, DLC has been a lot of fun. I'm finally getting to the point where it's really drumming up money for me. I'm taking contracts. I've gotten to the point where I can fix the bell tower. So the ultimate goal of that DLC is that you are coming back into town. You are taking over this guy Shkoda's old forge that has been broken down in like the kind of poor quarter. and he was fixing the bell tower at the time, or the clock tower. And it's a very complicated mechanism that you need very specific parts for, and you're kind of going through and figuring all that out. So that's been a lot of fun. I love the blacksmithing stuff. The Brushes with Death quest line, a lot more in depth than I was expecting, actually. I did not expect it to be as deep and, robust in certain ways as it is. It starts in the Trotsky region, but then it continues in Kutenberg. Once you get there, the painter has like a shop there that you continue the quest with. And it's been great, man. The writing's fantastic. The game looks amazing. There is something I'm noticing, though, this time around. And I feel like I did notice this before, and I meant to bring it up on the review. When you're in the cities, there's a lot of issues with the lighting going on. Like clipping, especially in the Forge now. Like, there's a lot of different light sources, and there's, like, shadows, like, clipping in and out.
I'm not sure if I've ever noticed.
And there are, like, certain walls where there'll be, like, lines through.
Is there
where
a
you
pro
can
update
see.
for that?
There is. So maybe it's only the pro issue. Okay. It could be. But there's even, like, I'm noticing areas, like, there's a wall along the... I guess it would be the eastern side of the city. There's like a clear seam you can kind of see up it. So like there are certain
sewn together.
There are certain, parts of the game where you can see the not lower, but like it's a smaller team. Warhorse isn't that big as far as I understand it. They've gotten bigger since the first KCD, for sure. Mm-hmm. And I think it's only going to continue to grow. But you see a little bit more of that like smaller team in it. And that's not necessarily bad, but it's definitely a kind of point I noticed this time around. But the game's great. I love it so much. I think you're going to have a lot of fun when you jump back in. I haven't gotten to I don't even know how to say the new DLC. Mysteria Ecclesiae. It's like a very specific Latin word.
Yeah.
It's about the Sedlitz monastery there. There's like some type of plague. I think the Black Plague has come back, and you have to like deduce what's going on and like figure out how to cure it. And it looks very interesting. I can't wait to get to it. I haven't yet. I'm trying to finish up some of the other stuff a little bit more first. But it's been a really fucking great time, and I can't wait to talk to you about it, honestly. You want to jump in, or do you want me to go to the next one?
No, you can keep going.
Sounds good. These ones are actually... I just got 3 platinums I want to talk about in a row. So Chronos, finished that off. Thank you. Took me 2.5 playthroughs, which really, if you wanted to do it the best, like the most
you could
efficient way possible,
do it in one,
you do it in 2, actually.
Okay.
So you just... But either way, as long as you have your saves down, I did 2 playthroughs, and then I had to play through like a chapter and a half to get another one. And it wasn't an issue.
Did you do any scumming for endings?
Yes, for the... Yes, for the second ending. So there's 2 options at the first ending. You can choose to do one thing or choose to do another thing. And then doing New Game Plus unlocks a third ending, which I didn't even really think about. I don't know why. That definitely play that whenever you get to it.
Yeah.
I'll make this quick. Please play Chronos. I think it's one of the most interesting games that came out this year, lore-wise, mechanics-wise, style-wise. It's hard to get a better slice of horror pie. Definitely play it. Next up, we got Amnesia the Bunker. I was also in a bit of an October mood. Finished the platinum for that. It was fun to get back to that. That game has a lot of interesting and dynamic things that you can kind of play with, especially when it comes to the monster, especially now with the difficulty sliders. I'm sure you messed with that when you got your plat. I did cheese the one plat that I think you told me about it, where you just go through the wall, and I just it's still there. So you grab a box and then you you push it inside yourself and you grab it or something.
Yeah, basically like no clip through the map and you get to the end of the game.
Yeah,
and that triggers the end of the game.
And there you go.
Yeah, and you walk through it.
Very simple. But I did get I think 30 out of 45 trophies in one playthrough, which I was surprised about. Without trying.
Yeah,
the notes were the most annoying part, but that wasn't even that annoying.
I think I went back for something, but I don't really remember what, because I don't really remember having to do a full second playthrough. I think I might have, but I don't really remember.
Yeah, I'd be curious. There is one more I have to get, and it's the shell-shocked difficulty. I could cheese that one. Part of me kind of wants to try and do it for real, because it seems like an interesting kind of difficulty.
Is it a permadeath mode?
It is. Okay. And there's you use oil to save. And
you can save.
I think you can save, but I don't.
It's not permadeath.
Okay, yeah. You're probably right. I actually didn't check. You need oil to save.
Yeah, cheese that.
There's stuff like the lights go out a lot quicker. There are certain other kind of accoutrements, but I'd love to mess around with that. Amnesia's great. Who develops Amnesia? Why am I forgetting the name?
Frictional.
They announced their new game recently. They just put out a weird teaser trailer. Cannot wait to see what it is. Please give me more. Always love it. Last one. I finished Death Stranding. Finally, Gooch. Fully finished. Platinum's done. I literally just had to... I turned on my PlayStation at like noon one day.
Yeah, I remember we were talking
and I just
about
let
this.
it run like with him. Like Sam basically was sleeping the whole time, just sitting on screen, and all of my orders reset. And I finally got the last one for the adventurer, where you have to go get him in like the middle of.
Luckily, I didn't have to end up doing that.
I think it was just because I had done a relatively good job of keeping each area kind of done. So I didn't have a lot of things to go in between by the end.
I have to admit that platinum is pretty difficult. Like you really gets like you really can only do specific things for, and it's usually like very specific people with not a lot of orders. Like I think the adventure was one of my last ones too.
Yeah,
and he only you have to progress everything like a certain limit, and then you get the order to go save the fucking adventure like for the 17th time. Yeah.
right. Yeah, no, it was nice to finally kind of check it off the list and be able to put it away for good for now.
Yeah.
And we'll of course talk more Death Stranding later, but that's it for me games wise.
You were talking about horror for the Gooch Spooktacular, as I always do. Have some friends over to play some horror games. Mortuary Assistant.
Yes,
which is like basically like an embalming simulator with a horror game mixed into it.
I've seen
so
clips,
you're embalming bodies, and like you basically there's a situation where this girl gets a job in a mortuary, and you find out like that the guy who owns the mortuary is like doing it to like as like he's like trapped in this like this demon is like possessing the bodies and him, and he basically like gets this girl involved, and like she's like, you're stuck, you got to do this, and yeah, you embalm bodies, and there's jump scares going on and shit going on, and you basically
there's some like roguelike elements too, right? Does it change as you play, or like if you play it again?
So sometimes like your embalming tools are in different spots. You can actually check something to turn that off, because when I was farming at the end, I'm like, I don't need everything to be in a different spot. I just want everything in the same spot.
Done, yeah.
But yeah, you basically have to deduce like who the demon is and what, like there's like tools on the computer, and it's like, okay, like there will be like these symbols that like a pop up around the game, and you use these letters to sort of like reveal them.
Right.
And there's this guide of like, okay, like this demon is this mix of symbols, this is another, and you pretty much have to find all four symbols to deduce what demon it is. Put the sigils on this mark, and then put the marks on the bodies and burn the correct body, and if you don't, you get possessed. And there's like 6 endings. So, and again, it just kind of depends on like what choices you make, if you get the wrong body or the right body. And some of them are like the first ending is always the same, but then it opens up, and it's like, you know, there's more narrative things going on. I think it's made by like a very small team, if not one person, and then like some other people did some other things, but like it's very simplistic. It's not flashy or impressive at all. But the gameplay loop is fun. It is pretty scary. It's not like super cheesy jump scare, but like sometimes like, you know, you're working on the computer and there's like a monster, like, you know, like right above the monitor, like you can see him. And then when you like back out, he's gone. It was good. It ended up being a good pick. I was like really struggling what to pick this year. The hardest part about the platinum was, so there's an embalming mode where you just embalm bodies.
Yeah,
Which is pretty funny. Like the horror and narrative is taken out, but you have to burn 50 bodies and you have to embalm 100.
It just turns into an embalming simulator.
So I just kind of was like cranking, and you can only do 3 in a session. Cranking out bodies.
Just cooking them.
And that took me a little while, but like pretty fun game overall.
So that was actually one really quick thing I wanted to say as well. I played a quick one on Steam called Exit 8. Have you heard of this? Mm-mm. It's a weird, like, it's like a 5-minute like roguelike thing. You go through a hallway. It's like in a subway, like in Japan, and you have to keep going, and it just keeps looping, and you have to get out of the subway. But every time you turn the corner, it's the same corner. If there's an anomaly, you have to turn back and run away and go the other way, and then it reloops, and you keep going. And every time you see an anomaly, you have to turn, no matter how small it is, and then you eventually get out. I haven't not turned when I've seen an anomaly though. Like there'll be like a guy, like he'll be peeking around the corner, and you're like, oh fuck, I gotta turn around. The signs will be out of place. There's like a dude like in a weird, like he'll be like painted into the wall, but there's clearly a man like just standing there at the end of the hallway, and you're like, it's like a really weird sense of like, I don't. It's like a
liminal space kind of thing.
It was really cool. I would recommend it. It was like $2, but I'm sorry, continue.
No, and the last game, I was talking about it briefly in our last monthly podcast, Final Fantasy Tactics, which I am regretting not using a guide for because I'm really struggling with it. It's a hard fucking game. So I got to this notorious boss that is notorious from the original game for soft locking people, and I like got there and I'm like, wow, I tried to legitimately beat this boss for maybe like 4 or 5 hours. not in a row, but like, and I'm like, I can't do this. I'm like, I can't. So I cheesed it. And I over leveled my main character, and that kind of fucked me up going into the last chapter, chapter 4. A lot of the enemies, so the random battles are scaled, and the main story ones are not. So my random battles are scaled up way above most of the rest of my party.
Right.
And my main character Ramza is like in the 40s, and everyone else is in like the 20s and 30s, and I'm just getting rocked. And I'm like, now I have to do a bunch of like grinding, and the grinding is pretty tedious. It's a weird kind of game, and I like it, but like I also am like really struggling with it. And again, I always use guides for older Final Fantasy games. Why I didn't think to do that with this one, I'm not sure, but I'm regretting it, because I feel like that would have made my experience a bit better, because there's a lot to learn and a lot to like take in.
Dude, of course.
About the
especially
tactics.
How old is that game?
97.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, fuck, dude. I think I like royally made a mistake. Like, I'm going in like super blind, and I'm really paying the price. And there's a lot of the game I like don't understand and still trying to learn. And yeah, it's been interesting. But
especially with old games like that, man. Yeah. I feel like you just need. There was one guy I followed on YouTube for a little bit. He would do like, I think I brought him up on our Oblivion remake. I can't remember his name now. I haven't watched him in a while. But he'd be like, trying to play Daggerfall in 2022 with he's like, I'm using the guide that came with the game, and I'm using like everything I would have basically at this time. And like watching him try to,
it's hard.
It's insane. Like, yeah, like for especially
there's
all the
games
games like that.
Comprehend, and these games don't necessarily like
point
it out to you and explain it to you. And it's like the way you're supposed to like grind levels in Final Fantasy Tactics is not necessarily just like grinding battles. Like, you just go into a battle and you like hit your own guys, and like you level yourself up, because that's the most efficient way to do it. And I'm like, that's like kind of crazy.
Like, it's
like a charm of
right.
it.
Yeah. It's just funny how like more infinitely difficult and in what's the word I'm looking for, and just like intricate some of like the old games are, especially when you get to like those types of like what would that be called? What type of game would that be? Final Fantasy.
Turn-based.
Turn-based. Thank you. God, I couldn't get. I was like, what? Like a turn-based, like old style game. Like, just there's so much detail to it. But even like something like a Daggerfall, weird stuff, man. Wild stuff.
Yeah. That's it for games. You said you weren't watching anything.
I don't really have anything to watch. Yeah, I'm reading stuff, so we can go.
Yeah. Real quickly, what I've watched. Marvel Zombies sucks. Don't watch it.
Fair enough.
Smiling Friends season 3 has been awesome, and I've also been watching this another Adult Swim comedy called Haha You Clowns.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's like basically like this family of 3 boys and a dad, and their mom died, and this comes up a lot, where they're like, mom would be proud. It's like, it's very wholesome. It's like these 3 himbo like brothers who all look and talk the same,
right? And
they're living with their dad, and they're just kind of like, it's just like very wholesome and like stupid,
right? Like,
it's not really like Smiling Friends, where it's kind of like weird and gross and crude, and it's funny in like a very like typical what you think of an Adult Swim show would be. Haha You Clowns is like absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, just slapstick insanity.
Not really. It's just like there's these 3 brothers are like way too wholesome and way too.
Okay.
But they're like himbos. They're like stupid. And it's just like the characters look really dumb, and like the way they talk, and it's really funny. I think Adult Swim is like kind of like hitting a new stride with 2 new shows that seem to be doing pretty well.
That's awesome. I want to watch Smiling Friends.
And Smiling Friends.
Yeah.
Last night or 2 nights ago, K-pop Demon Hunters. I watched it.
The Netflix craze, if you will.
It was good. I really liked it.
I've seen some clips.
I think Sony, between Spider-Verse in 2018 and this, they kind of like...
That's a Sony movie? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's a Sony movie. Yeah. They kind of come out of nowhere with this art style that is not necessarily been done by Pixar or Disney, and they just knock it out of the park.
It's very unique.
And this is that again.
Yeah.
It's got this anime like sort of like Pixar like Overwatchy looking style, and the songs are really good, man. I mean, like, I'm sure you've heard Golden at this point. It's on the radio, like it's like K-pop Demon Hunters, and the singers behind the songs, which are different from the voice actors,
right.
Like it's a big deal.
It's funny, man.
This could be an Oscar movie for sure.
I might have said this to you before, like off air, but like there's Netflix made an announcement that their top most viewed movie before this was like Red One, and it was like that one with
Yeah, with The Rock and Chris Evans
and it's like I don't believe
that.
Like there's no
I
one
believe it because
like,
it's like a general like
and like someone
Christmas
puts it
movie.
on in the background and it's going well. Yeah, sure. It's just funny, but like then you see K-pop and like I see it everywhere and everyone's talking about it. I'm like, yeah, that feels like a hit. Like everyone is talking
Has
about it.
Tamira's not wanted to watch it? I'm surprised.
Oh no, she hasn't really brought it up. I'm sure we'd watch it. Like
It's good.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like I think the story is good. I think that my negatives, like there's some plot points and characters that just kind of get forgotten. But I don't know. Like I was really entertained by it.
I'm happy
to
hear
very
that.
Good.
Yeah,
I
You're going up, Gooch.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny. Tim, in our Discord, friend of the show, Tim Appleby, called me out and he's like, "You reviewed Dune, the first one, at a 4, and you gave K-pop Demon Hunters like a 5 or Tron Ares." I'm like, "Well, dude, like every movie is being reviewed on a different scale."
Well, it's obviously.
But I'm like, "Did you see my second review for Dune Part 1? I gave it a 5. You know, I changed because I went into that first movie." Not knowing what the fuck a Landsrat was, you know? Like, now I know what, like, the fucking face changers are. Like, get real, dude. But yeah, good movie. What are you reading?
So, I got 3 right now, actually.
I actually have some reading stuff, too.
Yeah, I finished up Woman of Tomorrow. We talked about this off air.
Yes. One of the best comic books I've ever read.
I definitely probably wasn't as high as you, I think. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought the art style specifically was, like, fantastic.
Yeah, some of those shots of like Supergirl just being like,
it's amazing. It's very mythical
Supergirl,
almost, and it reminds me of genuinely. And I've said this before. And I'm probably actually bringing it up on the next one in a funny way. Hercules, like the Disney movie. And,
like
I see it's not the exact thing, but like there's like definitely stylistic elements in it that I really adore. I think the story is interesting. I like Supergirl's characterization in it. I love her look in it. So I'm curious to see what exactly they bring from it to the screen when it comes to the comic.
Krem is the main villain in the movie, for sure. And I think Lobo is just going to be like a side character.
No, yeah, exactly. He'll just show up on one of the planets, or like maybe she has a bounty on him. Right. I could see him being like, I need like something to do with Cal, and he's like, oh, your brother's fucking Superman, isn't he, or something like that? Because that is one element of the comic I like. Cousin. Like, oh, yeah. She kind of has to deal with the aftermath of Superman in a lot of ways because everyone knows who Superman is.
She lives in the shadow of Superman. Yeah,
and it's almost like even like as a brother in a weird way. Like I said this, no, even for me, like for me specifically, like there's this funny scene when she goes to a bar and the guy's like, you're Kal-El's brother, aren't you? What the fuck are you doing? Like, it's like a weird, funny interaction where it's just like they know her. And like, I don't know, I've been to like a weird, like a Starbucks or something in Newtown Square, and I'm like, hey, can I get a coffee? And like, are you Jay Trio's brother or something? Like, it's, I don't know, it feels very human in a weird way.
Sure.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I think
in the
comic,
shadow of your older brother.
Sure. It's just like you're known because like you're known before you even get there because of your brother or because of your family. It's it's an interesting kind of feeling. But I will recommend it 100%. I got the like special anniversary one for like $15. It's a hardcover. The cover's gorgeous.
Oh man,
it looks awesome.
I have the soft cover.
I think it would be worth it. Other than that, though, I've been really kind of starting, Gooch, to get into the Absolute line. I've been the DC Absolute stuff.
Yeah, I'm waiting. So I feel like it's like too new and
I kind of like that. I can kind of like there's volume 1 for most of them are out. I got volume 1 of Absolute Wonder Woman. I finished it. It's awesome. I really fucking love it. I think the art specifically again stands out for me. I can't remember who does it. They lean heavily into like the Greek mythology of it. She is cast down to hell by Zeus, and there's the first scene is her being given to Cersei as like punishment for the Amazons, and like the god's like, yeah, you can take care of her if you want to Cersei, but like honestly, if she dies down here, that doesn't matter. Like we don't really care. Cersei ends up taking care of her and raising her. They worship a goddess who I had never heard of before, a Greek goddess, Hecate. Have you heard that name before?
It sounds familiar.
It's like the goddess of sorcery and like wizardry and like witchcraft and stuff. Right. I did not know that existed.
Which would make sense for Cersei.
Yeah, and you know, Diana is very kind of magic focused this time around. She's like 6'9". She's a monster. She looks gorgeous. She has like a very distinct look, which I appreciate. Her nose specifically. I really, really love what they're doing here. I can't wait to see where they go with it further. She has like different colored lassos. She has like basically a bag of holding, for lack of a better term, that she pulls all of her stuff out.
That's pretty cool.
It's really great, man. It's very different. It's a bit outside the box, but I think it very much fits within the realm of what
I
Wonder
feel
Woman
like this is like the new heavy metal line.
Definitely.
And
to
it's
a
kind of
degree.
what it reminds me of, which I never read any of that. With
I didn't
like
either.
What was the Red Racer?
And that
or
was
whatever.
kind of more specifically, I feel like, based around Batman, whereas this is
Yeah.
like the whole universe. I can't remember the exact setup, but this is a universe Darkseid created somehow specifically. And I don't
So
know.
it's just like a harder kind of universe, like
Yeah, like
literally,
that he's yeah, and
yeah,
there
like
are
that
major
kinda hard.
differences and like
Yeah.
kind of some turns on their head. I started Absolute Batman as well. That's been really interesting because there are a lot of kind of twists and turns. It starts like actually with Alfred kind of coming into the city, into Gotham. He's there on a mission. He's like a Black Ops dude of some kind, and he's there to take care of Roman Sionis, Black Mask, and it kind of kicks off from there. This is when Batman's first coming out. Bruce is an absolute tank. He has a fucking axe head on his chest, which I thought he killed people with, but and I joked about this in the Discord, like they just kind of lean into the meme. Like he just beats them this close to death, but they're not dead. Or he'll like chop their arm off. Like there's one scene at the beginning where he's taking down a bunch
I
of
thought Batman can't kill.
Yeah, right. No, and he doesn't. He's not killing them. He's severing each artery, but clearly to make sure that they don't die.
If this was coming out like when Batman v Superman was, I feel like there would be a much different conversation.
Well,
with that.
and
anyway, not to get
no,
off
for
track
sure.
too
And I
much.
do think there's something to the
But
idea.
like there's a
of, like,
brutality behind
there's
it.
like an insane brutality behind this Batman, and even the design of his cape, like they're almost tendrils instead of a cape, but they can make a cape. Apparently, there's an explanation for exactly what they are later in the
And
comic.
he's poor, I know.
And he's poor. He's like he's a working class like engineer guy. His dad dies, but his mom's still
He
alive.
lives with his mom.
He
still,
lives
right?
with his mom, but he's like very distant. It's funny.
Really interesting.
Seeing like the image of Batman independent of anything else. I'm like, I don't really, what are we doing here? He's like huge. He's like a tank. He's got like spikes on his shoulder. He can take off his bat ears and use them as knives. Like wild shit. But then when you put him into this universe and show me what's going on, I'm like,
context.
I'm with it. Okay. I see what you're doing, Scott Snyder. I can't wait to see where you go with it. They set up the Joker in a very interesting and different way. He's almost like the Joker's an analog for Bruce in this. He's like a rich dude who has a lot of power, and he almost looks kind of Bruce Wayne-y.
But isn't he a monster?
We don't know why that. We don't know what that like where that comes from or why he looks like that yet, or like how he becomes that.
But the Jokers are what?
He's a named person. Like I don't think they gave his name yet.
Is it Jack Napier?
I don't think they named him yet specifically, but like,
I kind of hate that shtick that came from '89.
Definitely
like that name.
Yeah. And they do this thing where like him and all his villains are friends, like they're like the 6th Street Kids or something. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but like he's friends with Waylon, he's friends with Joker. He's like he grew up with all of them. That was something when I first heard about it too. I was like, Batman, like Bruce. Bruce knows them all like personally. Like they're at a poker game where all of them are there. Bruce is there too, and he's like, they bring up something of like, that's you can't use the Joker, and then like Waylon goes, there are no Jokers allowed here, remember? And then it's like a picture of the Joker card, and like you're like, oh, wonder what happened there. So there's a setup immediately. It's a cool universe, man. I have Martian Manhunter on my shelf too now. Absolute Martian Manhunter. I'm gonna get into that next. I'm trying to go on a tear here. I've been really
Where are you
enjoying
buying
it.
from?
Amazon. Yeah.
Okay.
And dude, they're relatively cheap right now. You could get these for $16 paperback. I've been getting some of the hardcover editions. I got Batman hardcover and I got Martian Manhunter hardcover. Those were like $23. But Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, I've been reading DC vs. Vampires, which there's 2 volumes of, and then it goes into World War V. So that's basically, it's like vampires start taking over. I don't even know who like the big bad of the vampire is. They tell you it is, and like basically like the Justice League is like sort of falling one by one.
Right.
And it actually starts with like Green Lantern, Hal Jordan being the vampire, and he kills one of the Wonder Twins, and that sort of sets things off.
Do you know how he's been infected, or is just
No,
okay,
actually.
I see. Interesting.
No, I mean like now everyone's fucking infected. Batman is quickly removed from the equation.
I think I've seen the panel.
Nightwing becomes the head vampire. Barbara Gordon is the one really like pushing the resistance against him with Green Arrow and Black Canary. It's pretty cool though. I really like the art. Otto Smith is like my favorite comic book artist. But yeah, I picked it up like last year, and it was Halloween time, so I was reading that. And then World War V is like just finished, and I don't think the full volume for it is coming out like in a month. I think like this month.
DC's killing it, man.
With comics,
With comic books specifically.
Marvel, like I don't understand like what they're doing.
I've just it's tough for me
Nobody
to even know.
talks about.
Nobody talks about it, and I've never really been a big Marvel comic fan period.
Yeah,
Like in the comic book. So I agree, man.
Like it's so like if you like, oh, do you like horror and like vampires? You could easily jump into DC versus vampires and like, okay, you might not know John Constantine is, but you don't really need to.
You get the context.
And you're gonna meet him.
Yes.
This is how I got into comics of like, I'm playing like Arkham Knight. I don't know who Mr. Pig is, but like now
those were the things that like got me into the comics. Honestly,
right,
really, if
and now
anything.
I kind of do.
Have you read Deceased?
No.
I would recommend. I read the first volume of that on like free comics, but way back. I want to get like actually the full thing.
Yeah, I'm reading Deathstroke Incorporated right now.
Okay.
It's basically like a Black Canary Deathstroke team up.
How
comic.
old is that? Is that like relatively new?
Yeah, it's like 2023.
Interesting.
It finished. So it's basically this group recruits Deathstroke and Black Canary to basically do missions for us, and Black Canary's undercover to be like, who's this new group? What's going on? What are they after? That's what you're going to find out. You're going undercover. And Deathstroke is just recruited for his own reasons.
Interesting. Yeah,
so
started in 2021.
Yeah. So it's like my two favorite like comic book characters. Like it's pretty cool so far. I forget what the group is called. It's an acronym. Think something like that. I don't know. There's a version of Toyman in it, but it's like the second one. He's like a young Asian kid, and he's their like guy in a chair,
right?
Sort of thing. And yeah, they're basically just like taking the group's goal is to take down villains, and that's what they're doing. But like, why? There's clearly something going on. One of the leaders keeps going back to somebody getting orders, and it's like, what are they working on? I just sort of started that, but two actual books that I'm reading, and then we can move on and get into the predictions. I finished A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is something Kathy got me into reading that I ended up just kind of finishing because I liked it, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna.
Is that smut?
It's smut.
I thought it was.
It's pretty good. I kind of like it though. Yeah, it's smut. If you know,
I was unaware.
No, it's like honestly, it's like
high class smut.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like very like it's not like.
How detailed are we getting?
Apparently the first book is pretty tame to the rest of the series, but it's like sexy and romantic. It's not like very like it's not like 50 Shades.
Right.
Like 50 Shades is like it's BDSM.
Yeah,
like it's kinky.
Yeah.
This is definitely not. I mean, it's kinky, but in like
when I read it, it's not
a classic sort of way. But like it like comparing it to like I can kind of compare it to Witcher. Like I feel like Witcher does romance very
more in
classily.
an adult way, yeah,
for
sure.
Yeah. But like I'm like this is interesting because it's like I like fantasy. I don't think there's enough fantasy, and I'm getting fantasy in a very different way than I would a game. So I
reading's good for your mind too, dude, man. Like seriously,
intend to like keep reading through it. But then Casey, friend of the show, Casey Wellman, he tossed a book in my face. It's called Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I think you would love this book. It's basically like there's this 20-something-year-old guy, and the world gets taken over by this alien corporation, and it turns into D&D. like the whole world gets flattened, and he has to dungeon crawl, and he gets into the first level, and he has a HUD, and he's trying to figure all this out, and he gets to a tutorial tavern, and this goblin is like, okay, like, you know, here's why you have these chest icons, and like their sponsors. It's really cool.
That's cool.
I think you would really be.
What is it called again?
Dungeon Crawler Carl. But I'm only like 5 chapters into it, and it's just like real world gets turned into D&D, and like or like an RPG, and it's like it's got all the trappings of a video game, and it's cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. That's really cool.
It's all apparently like 8 in as well. I'm like, why? I'm like, one thing now that I'm like reading books, and same thing with like comics. It's like there's so much. Just like with games, there's so many games.
I mean, you got to carve out the time, and even for reading, especially, that's one thing I like to carve out. Even if it is just comic books, man, it's good for the brain for sure to make yourself. It stretches the imagination muscles, especially.
Yeah. So that's it. That's our little what we're doing, what we're playing, what we're watching. So let's get into the prediction. But first of all, Trio, let's get a broad opinion of the nominations this year. What did you think of everything?
Pooey, Gooch.
Yeah.
Just pooey. No, listen.
I knew. Give me some depth.
I knew. I'm gonna be a major Expedition hater on this. I'll just preempt that. Yeah. And that's okay. I mean that like half jokingly. I think obviously that game deserves a lot of recognition, and it apparently is fantastic. So I'll leave that at that. I just think that there are some interesting choices. I think specifically when it comes to Expedition, just with having 3 nominations in the actor category feels a bit overboard to me. I feel like certain games specifically were a little bit left out. in the rain. There are some games where I get why they were left out in the rain, but I really wish they would have gotten a little recognition in certain regards. Chronos being one particularly. I don't know. A little bit of mix of disappointment and just anger, Gooch. Anger about these needless awards now.
I think this is the first year, like I was saying at the top of the show, where I'm really I'm really critical of like the awards and who's being nominated. We'll talk about the best indie where somebody took themselves out.
That is interesting. Yeah.
That's never happened before.
Right.
And I'm just like, what is going on here? I'm like, I kind of understand if like, an indie dev who's not really known for anything, like nobody knew he made a game before that. I kind of understand why that would happen, but our first award is best performances. And I think it like, kind of like, I'm like, okay, well, like, let's stop. You have 3 people from the same game nominated, and they didn't do motion capture. They only did performance, whereas then all the other actors who are nominated all did performance and motion capture. Like, there's different levels of acting going on here, and there should be a limit. Like, so can a category just be all Expedition 33, and then we're going to call, like, it just seems kind of odd that, like, 3 actors from one game are nominated for a category, and then there's ongoing game, and we cut out the community game, and I'm like, why are these awards even here? It's the same games every fucking year. Like, I just feel like we got to read the room and like make an evolution of some awards. I've lost best adaptation the last few years, but this year it's like, where is Sonic 3?
Yeah, that's wild.
How is Sonic 3 not on here? It fit, it came out in December last year.
Right, yeah.
But that's
where it should be.
Yeah. I'm like, that should be on this list, not Splinter Cell Death Watch.
I've heard, that one I heard is actually pretty great.
Or like Until Dawn. Like
that's the one that should be going.
Yeah, I'm like, how did we get here? And it's like it's for the first time this year that award is like kind of sucks because
I didn't vote for that because I'm like, I don't have an answer. I don't really think it was Last of Us, but I didn't see any of these, so I just didn't vote for it.
Yeah.
So it's I hear you, man.
So I think I'm more critical than I've ever been. I feel like as the years go by, I have noticed I am much more critical on like the minutia of these awards, what's being nominated, what the awards are, that sort of thing.
Well, and I do think this is half award show, half kind of E3 presentation. And I think Jeff sort of realizes that.
Yeah.
And I think he knows that. I mean, you see it with the sponsorships. You see it with how long it goes. You see it with certain awards. I don't know. There are certain areas of the show that I do think need tightening. At the show, if it's going to be 3 hours again this year, what are we doing?
Yeah, like
I don't know.
Again, we have the esports stuff, and it's like, I don't think like I'm like, I can understand having one esports award, but like we don't need to have player and team and like content creator. It almost feels like it's like Kai Cenat's probably gonna win that, but like I don't even know who I know who Burn Peanut is, but like I'm like I don't really know the rest of these people, and you know what? I really don't care.
Like I'm curious how many people are voting in that category.
Who like really care about it?
Yeah. Who actually care about it, or like because there were certain categories again where I'm like I don't know any of these games. I'm not voting. I'm just skipping this.
Games for Impact is becoming one of these things where these niche games that you've never played are nominated for, and it's like
what impact did they make?
Exactly. It's like,
I mean?
I'm not to disqualify like their narrative, which is what that word's about, but like, and same with like innovation, accessibility. I don't think any of those game journos have any. There are probably some like there are a few. Like Steve Saylor is somebody I knew who. From the Kind of Funny days, like he had a disability, so obviously he knows about that kind of shit.
Right, yeah.
And I think he was like a consultant, but like most people have nothing to say about innovation and accessibility because we don't use it.
It's a very odd kind of
Like have
award.
A panel and maybe recognize, hey, we have a panel of accessibility experts, and this is what they deemed the best. Don't give it to everyone else. Like,
I agree with you. 110%.
I think it's like an award, like an industry icon award, where it's like there's a panel of people who come to a decision and they're like, yeah, we're gonna talk about Kojima this year for his industry award or something like that, and, like they've done in the past.
I don't know. I've heard talk. I don't know the specifics of this, but I know there's some shenanigans that go on with how votes are counted and like how people feel like who is brought in, who is not. There is definitely a political element, a small p political element to this in the way of like. You know the person, the people, like
right.
Like it blows my mind that like
journos,
you know what I mean, voting. like this is just like a specific one. Like they're not asking someone like Colin to vote in that, or like
Right.
even like there are just certain people where it's like omissions, but also people that are in there that are like, what are they doing there?
Right. It's like Polygon.
Yeah.
And like Polygon has been like
Irrelevant for God knows how
right,
long.
and
Yeah.
Kotaku and kind of funny and like
Which
and
that's a bit more forgivable to me in the way they feel a bit more relevant than like a Kotaku or like even like a Polygon where I'm like,
right.
what the fuck? Do
Maybe
these guys
they
do?
need to broaden and expand, and it's like, all right, we're gonna like I don't know, like take some people out and bring some.
Really,
new
I
blood
think
in.
it should just be all voter. I don't think there should be like a panel of
Well, they have to
judges.
decide what games are getting in the reward.
Well,
I think
sorry, that
you can't give us gamers. all
No,
the
that
freedom.
makes sense. But like, I guess in the way of like
Who actually
votes,
wins.
like yeah, exactly. Who chooses the vote out of all those?
See,
people?
but
I don't
then
know.
like
yeah, you can get into
manipulation,
game that and all that. Yeah,
yeah.
I
think
don't
that's
know.
the
I don't know
problem.
what the perfect option is, but you know, many shenanigans going on in that regard.
So let's get into it. Our first award is Best Performance, which is an award to an individual for voice acting, motion capture, and or performance capture. Our nominees are Ben Starr as Verso from Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Charlie Cox as Gustav from Expedition 33, Erika Ishii as Atsu from Ghost of Yote, Jennifer English as Mael from Expedition 33, Kanatsu Kato as Hanako from Silent Hill F. We definitely got to talk about her.
Yeah.
And Troy Baker is Indiana Jones from, of course, Indiana Jones and The Great Circle. I voted for Troy Baker.
I also
we talked
did.
about it this last year. I feel like Troy Baker is like, this is like his best performance. But here's the problem. And you know, for those who participated in our forum and our polls and wrote in about it, thank you so much. I was not the only one to question why are there 3 noms from Claire Obscure in this award. You know, it seems a bit much. It seems like you're pushing the boundaries. And then, you know, like I'm saying, I'm kind of repeating myself. Charlie Cox was in a voice booth for 4 hours, doesn't even remember his role, and he's getting nominated for an award. It seems a bit tone deaf.
But someone would be like, well, that's just how good of a performance he did. But
sure.
I can't, it's tough for me to speak on that because I haven't played Expedition 33. But it just seems on an optical level of like, don't choose 3 people gave that good of a performance in a single game. Maybe we shouldn't be separating these awards like that. There should be a lead category and a supporting role category.
Right, because Ben Starr, I would argue, as Verso, he is a main character, but he comes in halfway through. Gustav is also main character, but who leaves halfway through. Mael is a main character. Hanako is a main character. But like, yeah, the Expedition 33, there's one of the Mael is the main character of Expedition 33.
Right.
The other 2 are not. I agree. They should either split it up by voice acting or performance or support and lead, because then you're kind of you're also giving an opportunity for more people to be nominated for this.
Especially, I'm sorry, like with the I'm sorry, man. The Tom McKay not getting anything for Henry is a fucking joke.
And Luke did.
Yeah, definitely.
For
like,
Hans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I think
nobody from Death Stranding 2, even Troy Baker as Higgs, he shined this year.
I agree with you.
Leah Seydoux, I thought could have gotten a nom for this. And I'm just like, there's like there were so many actors who I feel like could have been on this award and like kind of got snubbed because Expedition 33 got 3.
It's just hard for me to imagine, again, as someone who hasn't played the game, and I will give that major caveat, that there were such immaculate performances that you felt the need to choose 3 people from the same game.
Well,
I don't know.
It does look like most people agree with us. 50% of the vote going to Troy.
Oh, wow.
For Indiana Jones. And then it's sort of diced up between Ben Starr and Charlie Cox.
Hanako would have been my second choice.
So she's an interesting choice because a Japanese voice actor, I don't know if she did performance.
I think she did.
Is getting nominated. That's never happened before.
And you know what? Honestly, I think like, you know, maybe looking back, I might choose her over Troy just for the fact of how much emotion she had to put into that character, the places and depths I feel like kind of had to reach into, especially near the end of the game. She's giving it all, and she is really fantastic. And you feel it even, you know, as I don't speak Japanese. I obviously was using subtitles, but she was still fantastic.
But you played through it on
I did.
Japanese, which I think says something, right?
And I will say, like, the thing that definitely made me do that was when I switched to English, they sounded like a dub. Like, it sounded like they really didn't put much effort into it. Like, it's almost like when you put on a dub on Netflix and it's like, It's just not even the
It just doesn't
affectations
feel
are wrong.
right. It's like
and,
watching Squid Game.
right. Exactly.
Dub.
It's just
Yeah,
not correct.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you there, man. Troy is fucking awesome as Indy. He's like he sneaks into the role in a way you wouldn't even notice. If someone told you that was Harrison Ford voicing him, you'd be
And
like,
then
"Oh."
I heard people critiquing him. Well, it's an impression, but I'm like, well, sure, but like,
yes, it is, but it's
like,
such an insane impression to the degree.
it's not like they remade Raiders of the Lost Ark.
He is playing Harrison Ford in the 80s playing Indiana Jones. Like, that is kind of wild, and it doesn't feel fake. There is a certain type of je ne sais quoi you need to do.
It doesn't feel like an impression.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah.
Let's move on. Best ongoing game, awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Our nominees are Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. I don't even think I voted for Fortnite because it's Fortnite. We've had Final Fantasy 14 in here. Helldivers 2, I don't really think deserves it. I think Helldivers 2 longevity kind of showed that it meandered for a little while.
It popped off though again with the Xbox too, and the numbers are still, I think, pretty good.
Yeah. I think I was like, it had a pop off with the Xbox. Marvel Rivals had a dip, and I don't think has recovered since then. Not saying it's a bad game.
No, of course.
But it's been a year, and I don't think a lot of people are playing Marvel Rivals. Me and Trio aren't.
No,
I don't know if you've played No Man's Sky throughout the rest of the year, but I'd be interested to hear if you have.
I mean, not recently. That game, I'll give them their flowers every time. They just keep pumping content into it, in expansions. There's like new ships in it,
which is why it's here.
So, you know, I think that very much deserves it. I did put Helldivers 2 just because I felt like I kind of got back into it again this year, and I felt like it really itched a scratch.
Yeah.
But I ended up, I think I did put No Man's Sky somewhere else. But yeah.
Our poll, 33.3 to Helldivers and Fortnite, and then 16.7 to FF14 and Marvel Rivals.
Oh, sweet.
Next up is Best Art Direction for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Our nominees are Claire Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong. So, interesting category. Because we have a lot of sequels. All sequels except for Claire X.
Yeah.
So, everything has kind of been seen before. And I don't think Claire Obscur... I think the worst part about Claire Obscur is its art direction. It's got a unique style, but I don't think the environments and the way everything looks is necessarily the best or the most unique.
Right.
It is unique, but when I look at like Death Stranding 2, and it's like, oh, come on, like this art direction, the way everything looks, it blows everything out of the water. What do you think about this award?
You know, I've kind of gone back and forth vacillated. I did put Hades 2 just because I think that the style looks gorgeous, and I think it's very kind of distinct.
Yeah.
Death Stranding is a very close second for me, just in the way of how distinct and visually interesting that world is, and like how it really doesn't feel like any type of post-apocalyptic game I've ever played before.
Right.
It's like a paranormal apocalyptic game almost, like a post-apocalyptic game. So yeah, I do think, you know, having everything be twos kind of does add into that. I like Claire Obsidian's art direction. It's like, I don't know, French Final Fantasy almost to a degree, it seems.
Yeah.
And I'll go for that here and there. It almost kind of reminds me of even what they did in Hogwarts Legacy to a degree. But again, I haven't played enough of it to give a fully like digested thought on it. But yeah. You know,
so I
category.
went Death Stranding 2, and the reason I did is because it's Death Stranding again, but like the designs in Death Stranding 2 are almost more eye-catching than they were in 1. It's not just the monsters, like between Higgs and the Ghost Mechs and the way Fragile looks and the Magellan, everybody looks so distinct.
Even Lou, like the way she, like her white dress with the tar on it and stuff, like and her like the gold. It's great. No, it is.
Yeah, everyone, like you thought it could get. Like when you thought it couldn't get better, it got better.
I agree.
Like, yeah, and especially I think Higgs embodies that the most, going from 1 to 2. Like he looks interesting in both games, but in 2, it's like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, he's like this weird like biomechanical. There's a lot of things that Kojima and Co do where they just, you know, they know what's cool for some reason. They just look at something, they're like, this is weird and wild. But fuck, it's cool. He's playing a guitar that's shooting lightning, and he looks like a weird kind of like, I don't even know how to describe his like mechanics going on. It's awesome.
So our poll divvied up like this: 16.7 to Hades 2, 33.3 to Death Stranding 2, and 50 to Hollow Knight. So nobody voted for Claire Obscure, and I think that's going to be pretty telling.
Yeah.
I don't think Claire Obscure will win.
Right.
And I think that's the fear, right? That Claire Obscure is going to sweep every award it's nominated for. Also, it made history this year in the Game Awards. It's the most nominated game ever with 12 votes. Death Stranding 2 and Yote coming in second with 8.
Yeah.
It just kind of sucks because I don't want to see that game just win it all. Because I feel like while it is impressive and I did like it, I don't think it's nearly as polished as it needs to be to win an award.
I'm trying to fight this urge, and it's tough because
to not hate on it.
Yeah, because like I don't want to hate on it. It's apparently a fantastic game. People must love it, and there must be something to it. Just watching it though, and just seeing what the game is, I just can't, like, the way people are talking about it, it's like almost like in the same breath of how they talk about like a Last of Us 2 or Last of Us or like even Red Dead, and I'm just like, this just doesn't even look like it could even sort of touch even the aura of what those games produce, just because of how it's set up. And like, you know, it's turn-based, and this is apparently bringing the turn-based genre back for the 5th time in a row. Like, I don't know, I feel like you just see that every time where it's like, turn-based genre's dead. It's like, well, Baldur's Gate 3 just came out, but that's okay.
Right, and
I don't know.
Persona 5 was big and did it again there, and Final Fantasy, no, not 16.
When you're saying something is this good, like this good, I'm like, I don't know if I can even believe you. I don't know. It triggers like this response.
Would you play
and maybe
it?
it's about. I think
Would you
eventually,
try it out?
maybe. I think I'd give it a shot, but like, is it at the top of my list to get to? No, not really. I don't know. Just like the world doesn't seem like visually that interesting to me. I think the story itself.
The world is definitely not visually interesting.
I think like the idea
it is
of
interesting,
like
but it's
everyone
not
dying and
impressive.
stuff. Yeah, I don't know. And it looks very much like a AA game, which is fine. But like, I could probably play it on my phone without a controller.
So we had 50% of the vote going to Silk Song, 33.3 to Death Stranding 2, and 16.7 to
That was which category again? I'm sorry.
Art Direction.
All right.
Hades 2.
Gotcha.
Next up, Score and Music. For outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. We have Christopher Larkin for Hollow Knight, Darren Korb for Hades 2, Lauren Testard for Claire Obscure, Toma Atoe for Ghost of Yote, and Woodkid and Ludwig Forsell for Death Stranding 2. I voted Death Stranding 2. It's going to be between this and Expedition for sure, I think. The reason I think Death Stranding wins is because you have both. You have Woodkid making music for this game, who is a musician outside of the game. And then you have Ludwig Forsell creating this incredible score to go along with it. So it's kind of like it's doing something no game has ever done.
And there was like playlists from just third part, like, you know, just other songs.
Right. And then
stuff,
think about it from all the outside music coming into this game. What do you think?
I agree with you. I think music is very central and core to what Death Stranding is and the feelings it tries to evoke, especially when you're like, you know, cresting on a mountain and a certain song plays, or the song or the camera pans up and you're walking up a big mountainside and Woodkid starts playing. It's essential to the mood of the game.
Yeah.
In a way that I don't know. Maybe it is in it to a lesser degree in Expedition, but
I think the music is just really vibey and really good and really unique. You know, like we're gonna hear it at the Game Awards. I'm sure Woodkid is gonna play as well,
right?
Which is gonna be sick. I just think Death Stranding 2 does more.
Sure.
That's why, like, it doesn't have these outside songs coming in. Like, it blends, like, music in, like, every direction this award talks about into one game, and it works so seamlessly, like you're talking about, and separates itself from Death Stranding 1 with, like, you know, going away from low roar a little bit to use different kind of songs to
different even tempos.
Instill a different kind of mood.
I agree.
I know Hades 2 soundtrack is really good. Most of Supergiant's games are really good. Yote, I don't really feel any connection towards.
Doesn't stick to
personally,
I agree.
and Silk Song I can't really talk about. But we have 50% of the vote going to Death Stranding 2, 16.7 to Hollow Knight, and 33.3 to Expedition 33.
There you go.
Best audio design. Recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. Nominations are Battlefield 6, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, and Silent Hill F Trio. Who'd you vote for? What do you think?
Silent Hill F, Gooch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just so
I wish I would have played to like know, because I think I might think the same.
the ambiance in it is just so specific. The noises are unnerving. The music is kind of perfectly keyed in when you need it. Because I think music does bleed into audio design in certain respects in the way of how it can really set the mood of what you're walking into. And I think, Silent Hill F really does that. I want to get back to it. I want to platinum Silent Hill F. I really do. I think it's worth going back to, especially to get those new endings. And they just create a vibe that is tough to touch, and it feels distinct from Silent Hill, yet feels very much at home in the series in a weird way.
Yeah, I picked Death Stranding 2, probably for the obvious reasons.
And that would be my close second.
Yeah, but I think Battlefield 6 could also win it. I feel like Battlefield 6, like, again, I feel like multiplayer shooters thrive on their sound design, how the guns sound, how the battles
sound. It's an unsung hero.
Everything happening around you. Yeah, and I feel like Call of Duty comes up clutch winning this award most of the time. But we have 16.7 to both Silent Hill F and Battlefield, and then Claire Obscura and Death Stranding 2 with 33%.
I will just say, to beat the drum on Death Stranding, there are so many little mechanical noises and little
there's so
entrances.
much.
That just kind of add together to make such an ambiance in that game that I appreciate. When you get into a rover, or you put on your fucking legs, your exosuit, and the clanging of your feet going against the ground or just moving.
The DHV Magellan sound.
When you pick up some chiral crystals, that like the sound of it going into your pack. It's very specific and cool.
Yeah. Something I think Claire Obscura definitely doesn't have. I think like in Claire Obscura, it's like the combat and the noises when you dodge, but like, I don't know. Like, I did it stand out? Not that sound.
Sure.
I think the soundtrack stands out, but not the audio design. And then Ghost of Yote. I mean, like, again, it's a sequel. It's done it before. We've heard The Wind. I don't know. Like it. Yeah.
One I want to put in this category too, Chronos, for sure. I think the ambiance in that specifically sticks out to me. There's little synth notes. There's the sound of you walking, the sound of the orphans. It's great. It really is.
Next up, Best Adaptation, recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. Our nominees are A Minecraft Movie, Devil May Cry, Splinter Cell Deathwatch, The Last of Us Season 2, and Until Dawn. Let me get this out of the way and say mostly everyone voted for Minecraft Movie, and a few 33.3 going to The Last of Us Season 2. Minecraft Movie's definitely going to win. That's what I voted for. I'm definitely going to watch that movie before the Game Awards.
I would like to.
As like Game Awards
just
prep.
just to have watched it.
Is that who you voted for?
I did. Actually, I didn't vote in this category. Because I
haven't seen most of this either.
And I watched The Last of Us 2, and guess what? I didn't think it was that good of a video game adaptation. So, yeah. I kind of actually abstained from that one.
Yeah. It's, again, the last 2 years, I've really liked that award, and this year I'm just like, ugh.
Fallout could easily take it home next year.
How do you not put Sonic in here?
That really does blow my mind. That utterly blows my mind.
Like, that's crazy. Yeah. What, did we fucking forget?
I do want to watch Splinter Cell Blacklist, or what is it called again?
Deathwatch.
Apparently it's pretty good. It's Leif Schreiber, too, playing Sam.
Is it
I would
on,
like a
what's
game.
It on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
But I guess I'll watch the show in the meantime.
Yeah, I think that's a reason why I look at it. I'm like, that's so.
No,
stupid.
I know that really is annoying. No, I agree.
Like they'll make a show
on principle alone. Yeah, I agree.
Next up is Best Narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. Our nominees are Claire Obscura Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Silent Hill F. Trio, where'd you go with this one?
I mean, KCD 2. The amount of choice in that game, the characters, the interconnectiveness of each quest and how they can kind of lead into each other, and just even certain little stories. I was playing again last night, and I found a quest that just from the base game that I never found before. It was like this little tailor's cottage, and he was absconded by some guy, like his uncle in the village nearby, and they took him to steal his inheritance. It was a cool little play. I'm like, I never even would have found this if I didn't just find this little cottage over here. It's a fantastic game. It's incredibly well written.
Oh yeah,
there's a catharsis with Henry by the end, especially when you get to the Otto von Bergau stuff, the guy who killed his parents.
Oh Jesus.
The general.
Yeah.
Like that whole scene by the end that you get with him. Henry's just journey throughout and how he talks to his parents. It's really one of my favorite games in a long time, maybe since Red Dead 2.
Claire Obscure, the story is definitely the high point of the game, and I think that's why people are so high on it. It is a very sad story, and it's a very emotional gut punch.
Can you give me the quick pitch again? Because I'm forgetting. I know it's something to do with like.
I would have to spoil the whole thing.
Well, I know. Well, but like the base of the start of the game is like people keep dying when they turn 33, right?
There's
or something
this
like
event
that.
called the Gomage, and every year it goes down, and basically, so like pretend it's 33. So there's only the oldest people are alive are like 33.
Okay.
So once it goes down to 32, everyone who's 33 will die.
I see.
So, and it goes younger and younger and younger. So basically, like, you know, you have this town called Lumiere. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Lumiere, something like that.
And you're trying to stop this event from occurring.
Yeah. So basically, there are these expeditions sent out to the mainland every year to stop the paintress, because the paintress paints the number on the canvas. And the idea is that this expedition is going out to stop her, and that is what you are as Expedition 33. You're another expedition going out, picking up where the other expeditions left off to try to figure out how do we stop this. You know,
is there a way to even stop it? Sure.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
and this has been going on for a long time at this point in the world,
like 70 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it starts, and it's like, you know, expedition. I think the first expedition is called like Expedition. Not 0, but like maybe
Expedition like 100 or like a...
No, there's like a special name for them. I think it might be 0 actually. But yeah, like there have been like 70 expeditions.
I see.
Like,
Okay,
like
interesting.
60 some before you. Yeah, and like that's sort of the takeoff point. I would have to spoil.
No, that's all I wanted. Yeah,
but like like shit gets fucked. There's a lot of stuff going on, but like it's a kind of story where like nothing is going on in the gameplay, and then you get to a point where the story exposits, and then there's nothing, and you play the game to get to the next exposit point.
Right.
I think that's like the worst part about it is like the story does not really get really good until like the very end, where shit starts revealing
like
itself as to what's going on and who these characters are and who Verso is exactly, and it's like, again, like the gameplay doesn't really serve the narrative at all. It like it's just there for the game's sake. It doesn't really feel like this cohesive part,
right?
Which is interesting. But again, I think Claire Obscure could win this easily. Death Stranding 2, I mean, what do I have to fucking say? Go watch our review. That game is absolutely one of the most powerful things to ever grace video games. What Kojima is trying to say about life and death and connection and other people and loss. It's hard to be like, how could Death Stranding 2 not win? No game is talking about what Death Stranding 2 is talking about it in the way it's talking about it. Ghost of Yote. Yeah, it's better, but it's not Death Stranding 2. It's not Claire Obscure.
Yeah, and even for me, it's not.
And maybe it's not even Silent Hill F or KCD 2.
For me, like the story isn't even necessarily better than Tsushima 1 or Ghost of Tsushima for me. It's just different, and I can appreciate how different of an angle they are attacking with this character compared to Jin, especially. But yeah, I agree.
Anything to say about F as to why you didn't vote there?
You know, I think just KCD really has a stranglehold on me in a way that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah,
I think
really wanted
Silent
to
Hill
win some
F
stuff too.
Is
again,
really
it's
fantastic.
It's a tough year.
Yeah, and I couldn't recommend Silent Hill L enough. I think, or Silent Hill F enough. It's a Silent Hill game through and through. And I think Hinako is an incredibly interesting and compelling main character, and I can't wait to get back into it. So definitely play that if you can.
Our vote went like this: 66.7 to Claire Obscure, 16.7 to Death Stranding, and 16.7 to KCD. Best multiplayer. For outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op, massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre or platform. Our nominees are Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction. I think Split Fiction, just again, we've had these kind of games before. This is nothing new, even though I think Split Fiction can get impressive for me. I think Night Rain is the most unique experience here. Peak is that like friend sloppy kind of game.
Yeah.
With like you're going up a mountain with friends.
See, I disagree on Night Rain. Night Rain's just Elden Ring, but you can play with people now.
It is, but it's. I feel like it's right. It's like Elden Ring,
but you just made it like a like I don't know. Like with me, I think Split Fiction was my vote because like of how different and interesting mechanically the game is. There's definitely a lot of retreads in certain regards, but like just what they do by the end of that game is wild.
I voted for Battlefield 6 because it's taken the world by storm.
Right.
I think it's
reasonable.
Battlefield 6, you know, we've talked about this on the review and before, and it's like it's not going to kill COD. I think there is a interesting amount of things going on that is making Battlefield 6 kill COD. Battlefield 6. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 not reviewing well at all in all regards. Campaign, multiplayer, it doesn't.
I've been hearing the multiplayer is fine. Like, but the campaign's not great as usual.
I've been hearing the campaign's
but that's the same
not
with
great,
Battlefield.
But I've been hearing nothing about the multiplayer, which makes it seem like I guess it is just the same thing. Yeah, maybe not that it's bad, but Arc Raiders is sort of the runner-up, and the problem with Arc Raiders is I don't think it's been out long enough for you to give any sort of meaningful opinion about it. Multiplayer games are about longevity.
Sure.
Marvel Rivals isn't here.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that because it didn't last until the end of this year.
It's always big pops and then kind of fades.
Yeah. But and if a multiplayer game is standing the test of time and we're still talking about it a year later, that says something.
I agree.
And I feel like, again, when people Arc Raiders Game of the Year, well, it came out a week ago. Of course you have a high opinion about it, but what about it 3 months, 6 months, 9 months from now?
I agree.
Where are you? That's what determines Game of the Year. And I think Arc Raiders, unfortunately, just came out at a bad time for award season.
And it's so rare that a multiplayer game like that really, like, at least makes it above, like, out of the multiplayer category, too.
And,
like,
again, extraction shooters have been around, and suddenly everyone's, like, discovering it, like, extraction shooters are, like, a new thing. It's like, no, these games
they're hitting the mainstream, in a way that they just weren't before, for sure.
But our responses are pretty divvied up. 33.3 to both Split Fiction and Arc Raiders, and then 16.7 to Battlefield and Elden Ring. So we're kind of all across the board. It's going to be curious to see who wins, but I think Battlefield 6 is the clear winner. I would love to vote Night Rain. I think if Battlefield 6 wasn't here, I would have voted Night Rain because I think it is this, compared to everything else, this pretty unique experience.
Yeah. I will say Battlefield, like, I don't know, I think Split Fiction deserves it more because Battlefield's just, it's Battlefield, you know? Like, I don't know. It's not doing anything. It's going back to the basics and giving us the things that we just used to get. You know? And, like, that's good and all, but, like, is that worthy of best multiplayer game of the year? Not for me.
I disagree.
Split Fiction, I think that's much more interesting and unique to me.
Sure.
You know?
So I guess you're kind of saying my explanation for Night Rain is your explanation for
Split Fiction.
Fiction.
Yeah, I would agree.
Next up, I don't think we're going to have a lot to say about this, so I think we're going to go by pretty quick. Yeah. Best independent game for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher space. The nominees are Absolem, Ball Pit, Claire Obscure, Hades 2, Silksong. I didn't play most of these games.
I didn't either.
Claire Obscure is going to win.
Yeah.
Bar none.
Yeah.
It maybe Hades 2. But like we haven't talked about let's real quickly talk about Hades 2 and Silksong because I feel like their game before were the biggest things ever.
Yeah.
And now Silksong came out. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, I feel like it had a huge pop and then went away.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And like I'm not hearing people talk about Hades 2 like they talk about
I also
that
think,
original.
we say that sometimes, and I think it also comes from the circles that we tread in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
sure,
to a degree.
for sure.
And I don't know. I think they are very successful, for sure.
And I say this every year, but I'm saying it this year, and definitely think about the perspective of the people voting. You cannot play everything. Mm-hmm. You can't. You fucking cannot.
That's why I skipped certain categories.
Especially a year like this.
Yeah.
Most of our vote went to Claire Expedition, 60%, and the 40% went to Silksong. I think it'll realistically, I think it'll go to Claire Expedition.
Right.
But Hades 2 and Silksong, like it could be between all three, but like Expedition 33 just has this, the boner of it just going. And I think that's why it'll win the next category too. Best debut indie. For best debut game created by an independent studio. So Megabonk, we talked about this earlier. He disqualified himself. He's like, this is not my first game.
Yeah.
You should go vote for somebody else.
Yeah.
And they removed him.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Big of him too.
Yeah, no, that's very good. That's very cool.
So our nominees are Blueprints, which is a game I need to play. I've heard a lot of cool
It's like a
things
puzzle
about that.
type game, right?
Yeah. Expedition 33, Despelote, and Dispatch. Interesting that Dispatch is in here. Because
that's been popping off.
I really want to play
I do too.
And I think it has some recency bias, but of course, 66.7 of our vote is going to Expedition 33 and 33 to Dispatch. I think it's hard not to look at Sandfall like having like 20 to 30 members and not seeing what Claire Expedition did this year and saying it's not the best indie game.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
100%.
Dispatch is a really cool game and is sort of bringing back Telltale by not Telltale Studio. But Trio, what do you think about this award?
Yeah, no, I can't help but echo you. I don't have a ton more to say on it because I didn't really play anything from this category. I did put Dispatch just because I felt like it really did come in and just light the world up out of nowhere, and I want to play it.
We saw it for the first time at the Game Awards last year.
And by the way, I do remember seeing it and being like,
because Laura Bailey and
stupid and weird and
Aaron Paul were on stage being really sexual.
Yeah. And then you got the whole voice cast. It looks cool. I like the art direction too. Blonde Blazer looks pretty hot, I guess. So does all the all the
characters look pretty hot.
The Gooners are living well apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it looks like a really cool game, and I want to get around to it. Very Invincible coded in a lot of ways.
Oh
yeah.
Next up, most anticipated game, recognizing an announced game that has been demonstrably illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. Let's just say, well, let me give the nominees: 007 First Light from IO Interactive, Grand Theft Auto 6 from Rockstar, Marvel's Wolverine from Insomniac, Resident Evil Requiem from Capcom, and The Witcher 4 from CD Projekt Red.
I gotta say,
why is Witcher 4 in
I
here?
completely agree.
That game is not 2026.
But it also, they're saying it's been shown in a demonstrable way or something, and it's like, you showed us a tech demo. That wasn't the game.
That game is like sperm still. It's not even
I'd say at the absolute earliest is like late 2000s. It's still in the old...
It's in the sack. Like that game... Like, I don't think we're going to see that for a while.
I agree with
you.
you.
So it's hard to even look at it. Nobody voted for it.
Well, and that's the thing. I feel like that tech demo really kind of threw people off. I think that's going to be looked back upon a little like, what was that? Because, again, I think they tried to say as much as possible, like, this is a tech demo. But I think for your Joe Schmo regular gamer, they're going to go back and look at it and be like, well, this stuff isn't in the game. Or like, this isn't... I don't know.
So, I mean, you tell me, man.
Yeah.
What do you think? Your baby's on here.
I mean, it's obviously Grand Theft Auto 6 for me, because just based off of like, what the fuck is that game gonna do? They've been running into some issues though, in the way of like,
the world.
Supposedly, well, not supposedly,
it just got delayed.
It got delayed, but then there were like 30 people who got fired apparently in like a union, quote unquote, union busting thing, and a lot of the workers aren't very happy about that. There's some rumblings over there.
Fired?
Apparently, they were trying to start like a union. That's the guess.
Union busting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. But yeah, I can't fucking wait for that game. I would like to see what it is. I would like to get a full video breakdown. I'm hoping, I'll throw my cards on the table here. I thought they were pretty locked in at that date. I was a bit surprised when it got delayed.
Really? Okay.
It's of course always going to be a possibility, and that's just part of the gaming industry. And I'd rather them take all the time that they can. But I can't say I wasn't disappointed. It is following the delay schedule that Red Dead hit though so far. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's where I'm at, though. What about you?
Yeah, I voted First Light,
which makes sense. I think that's
I feel like most anticipated game I view on like how much of it do we know about. Yeah. And First Light is coming up early in the year.
It's more tangible. For sure.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
Marvel's Wolverine and is like kind of like GTA 6 for me, a little bit too far out, where it's still like this ambiguous like. GTA 6.
Right.
We still don't, like you said, we still don't know a lot about that game. But Requiem, I think, could fall into the same reason for First Light. It's coming out before it, but I'm excited for Requiem. But I still got to play Village. But I'm looking forward to it. 50% of the vote went to GTA 6, as you can imagine. 16.7 going to Requiem, Wolverine, and First Light. Next up, Best Action Adventure. For the Best Action Adventure game, combining combat with traversal puzzle solving. Trio, you're going to be surprised by me.
Okay.
With this one.
Best Action Adventure?
Yes.
Maybe you're surprised for me too. I don't know. What were the options again?
I'm gonna read them off. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Silk Song, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and Split Fiction. Where do you think I went? I want you to guess.
I mean, obviously, Death Stranding's an easy one, but I'm going to throw out the other one that I think it is, and it's mine. Indiana Jones.
Yup.
Yeah.
I when I think about action adventure, I think it's really about gameplay and everything mechanically in the gameplay. I like Death Stranding too. I don't think it's an action. I don't think you're playing it for the gameplay.
You're not playing for the action side for sure.
Yeah,
you're playing it. The delivery part is key.
Yeah. And it's much less action adventure. I would never categorize Death Stranding as like an action adventure game.
It can be pretty action packed though sometimes, which is weird.
But I think Indiana Jones with the puzzle solving and the exploring the world and the the whipping,
just
and
the spirit of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it goes into it really well. 50% of our vote went to Yote though, which
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think you can nominate that for the same thing. 16.7 to Silk Song, and then 33.3 for Indie. Yeah, I was getting lost on my phone here. I had an image up that I lost, which is why I stopped.
No worries.
Going back to it, I was looking at my votes. I don't really need it right now. But yeah, that's what I voted for that.
Gotcha.
Best role-playing game. Moving on for the best game designed with rich character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. Tria's
what else?
Don't even read it off.
Yeah,
Avowed, which is a great. I don't know if Avowed deserves to be in here personally. Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and The Outer Worlds 2. I'll talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 because you talked about it enough. But that was my vote. KCD2 is the fact that you're playing it and I'm like I want to get back to that so bad. But I'm playing some other things. It's like one of the best RPGs I've ever played, and it's an immersive one at that. Not one that's I think easily accessible. And I think if you're willing to stick with it and get past the combat and learn it and understand it, it's a great RPG where you're playing as Henry. What's his last name?
Skalitz.
Henry of Skalitz. I'm like, it doesn't have
a last name. Yeah.
Henry of Skalitz, and he's not a peasant anymore. He's become a knight. He's coming to his own, and you're him.
He's become a man.
You're playing as him, and I really love playing as Henry. I think if Kingdom Come wasn't here, I would vote Outer Worlds 2 based on our conversation at the beginning of the show. Avowed is just not a strong outing for an RPG. Like, Obsidian nominated twice here. I'm not sure if a game has ever been nominated twice for two different games
in the same category. Yeah.
Claire Expedition 33. I just think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is better, ultimately, and I think Monster Hunter Wilds has been totally forgotten.
Would you say it's pretty heavily, like, how RPG heavy is Expedition in the way of
heavy?
Like,
it's turn based. Like,
are there like dialogue choices or anything?
No, yes, but not to the point I would say it's Outer Worlds or Kingdom Come. There are dialogue. You go back to your camp, you talk to people there, but it's not heavily dialogue focused
I see.
at all.
Right.
But, it's turn-based. You're equipping people with different weapons,
There's
with different
choice to
stats. There's a lot of gameplay RPG in it, not necessarily narrative. But I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 does it all pretty well, just like Outer Worlds 2 does as well. But I feel like Outer Worlds 2 came out too recently for people to really understand and form an opinion about that game. And I'm sure when they were voting for this, it just had come out.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I'm so in the market for these more immersive RPGs that all of these little mechanics, all of the little mechanics that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 employs, whether it's like the thief system, you can't wear something around someone that you stole it off of, the further away you get from somewhere where you've stolen something, the easier it is to sell, the clothing system, the different weapons. I do think the gear is where that game kind of falls down a little bit because by the end you just feel so powerful. The dialogue, though, is just immaculate. The different options, the ways you can get out of things, like what you're wearing affects how cold and how warm you are. You have to eat. You have to sleep. Like, I just wish that there's stuff there that it's amazing. It's
out of all these
interesting.
games you're playing, like, this is the only game where you're really role-playing as, like, a Geralt type.
Yeah.
Where, like, you're falling into Henry, and Henry... you can have some fun with it, but like Henry's like a specific kind of person, and I want to be Henry.
I want to role play as Henry. Yeah.
And I think that's
how I feel Henry would be. Right.
Yeah. And I think our audience agrees with us. 83.3% of the vote going to that, and then a nice sliver. The rest 16.7 declare obscure. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting.
I'm very curious.
Again, I feel like
I think that's the category they absolutely deserve. But
when we talk about the categories and we just explain why KCD2 is the best RPG of the year, and then you look at the Expedition 33 sweep, and it's like it still could just fucking sweep it from right under it.
It could easy.
Yeah. Best action game for the best game in the action genre focused primarily on combat. We have Battlefield 6, Doom: The Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. We have votes all over the place for this one, so let me read them out first. 33 to Hades, 16.7 to everything else. So everyone voted every which way for this. I personally voted for Battlefield 6. I think Doom: The Dark Ages just isn't a strong as entry as Eternal and 2016, so it kind of is falling short for me personally.
Yeah.
Didn't play Shinobi or Ninja Gaiden 4 or Hades. But yeah, Battlefield 6 is just, as for the reasons why we're talking about multiplayer.
Right. Yeah. It was Doom for me.
Shit all over you.
Fucking no. I understand the gripes with the Dark Ages, but I think it goes in a very interesting and different direction that I appreciate.
It's not even that I have gripes with it. It's just like not strong.
Yeah, I don't know.
Me. I'm not sure how to like say it. It's not a bad game.
It hit really strong for me for some reason. I liked the changes that it introduced. I felt like it kept it kind of fresh and interesting for me. I like that they're kind of trying to experiment with the formula a bit more. But having said that, I think, they could probably let Doom rest for a couple years now and then maybe come back to it and try and refresh it a little bit
I think
more.
Doom should definitely get put on ice.
But I love the Dark Ages, and I'll definitely go back to it again at some point. I did platinum that this year as well. So it's been a year of platinums for me, Gooch. I got to say a little bit.
Yeah?
Really? Like more than usual, I would say. I've gotten like 4 or 5 in the last like half a year.
Yeah.
So
Dark Ages was a pretty easy one.
It was. And, if I'm enjoying a game very much and it's a relatively easy plat like that, I will definitely go for it.
We got 2 awards left. Best Game Direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Our nominations are Clair Obscure Expedition 33 by Sandfall Interactive, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach by Kojima Productions, Ghosts of Yote by Sucker Punch, Hades 2 by Supergiant Games, and Split Fiction from Hazelight Studios.
Kingdom Come wasn't even in that, was it?
It's not. Just to talk about that, I feel like I don't think I would put. I don't think it deserves to be.
You don't think the direction in that is like one of the most key parts of it? Like how that game reacts to you, just the idea of.
Sell me on this. You can do it because I feel like you can.
How many systems are in that game? How much thought needs to go into how much everything intertwines when it comes to the system, when it comes to the dialogue, when it comes to the story, and how Henry kind of ends. I just think you need like some strong ass direction in that.
So the
compared
way,
to at least some of these.
The way I'm thinking about it is, when you start the game and you're in the what's the region?
The Trotsky region.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're in the Trotsky region and you can just kind of go buck wild and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
There is not a lot of direction, which I guess is a direction in and of itself, but I think the problem is it falls into a trapping of an open world game.
Sure.
And I just feel like open world games aren't super appealing, which is why nobody voted for Ghosts of Yote on our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else has, besides Hades 2, actually, everything has a vote. And I think
I did Split Fiction on this one. So
I did Death Stranding too,
yeah.
as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
50% of the vote went to Expedition 33, 33 to Death Stranding 2, and Split Fiction with 16.7. Why Split Fiction? What, as compared to like It Takes Two, do you think it did it better than that?
I think direction wise, just from the base idea of what that game could be, is so strong to me, and how they kind of interweave, the different sections of the game, especially once you get to the end. It just feels like a very strong idea executed very well. Sure, I don't think the story is anything to write home about in the way of the tropes it explores, and it kind of can fall into some tropes in maybe a not amazing way. But I don't know. I think Hazelight has a very specific and individual vision that they continue to capitalize on, and it just feels like a major change up every time, even though, it's following a two-player formula, but they still add things on top of that to really kind of differentiate themselves. And it just feels like the most different game in that field for me, where it comes to like, everything's an open world, what have you, which, there's ways
I
to,
think that's a real valid point.
You know what I mean?
I really do.
Like, it's just,
like
it's a different
it's an easy kind of,
Right.
punch
You
to
know
be
what I
like,
mean?
open world games, fuck off, but like, you're right, where everything is an open world game.
like
Split
having
Fiction
something so
isn't.
specifically couch co-op or co-op oriented. It's nice to see.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the commitment to the
And Death Stranding 2, I think you could kind of throw the sequel thing back in my face. Well, it's a sequel. We've done this before. I think Death Stranding 2, the fact that it does Death Stranding 1 so much better and so much more to the point where, like, Death Stranding 1 walked, so Death Stranding 2 could, like, fucking sprint.
And I'd even say that about Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Absolutely.
At the same time, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to ignore how much better Death Stranding 2 is from a gameplay level. Where I don't think Death Stranding 2 shines, I think it's like environments could have been a bit more better. Like, the
environmental
mountainous
stuff.
area really feels like an enemy even of itself. But like, besides that, I don't think that the environments were really challenging and
agree.
really like getting in my way.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the big gameplay elements where I feel like Death Stranding kind of fell short. And the boss battles, again, they were cool.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, ugh.
And like
They
the
just feel
environmental
so
like hazards, like they didn't, I don't know, like they were only in one spot for fire.
The
and
firestorm.
Like,
There is multiple spots, but they're like kind of fixed.
that's what I mean. Yeah,
You know?
I would have liked to see more dynamic events in that way.
like,
for
or
sure.
even the ghost mechs. The ghost mechs are kind of fixed. I wish they weren't. I
Yeah,
wish
like there were
kinda
certain parts of the
random.
road too where they'd always pop up. I feel like.
Yeah, but like, and it's maybe they tried to experiment with that, but it's like they couldn't find a balance between like random encounter and like. Because, like, there are no random encounters
Not
in
really.
Death Stranding.
You
so
know
you're gonna
where
have
there's gonna
ghost
be
mechs
BBs.
popping up every
Right.
7 seconds.
Right.
Even the chiral critters are not random, which they could be, but, like, they're not annoying enough that you probably would get annoyed by them. Like, you might get fucked by them. Like, I know I've ran into them and they drain all my battery, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not too much of a difference, but, like, when you only have, like, 3 or 4 things that you could happen, I think random events for that game, like, wouldn't make sense. Because
I think
it's not Red Dead.
I think on the weather element that would make more sense to me because like you just don't know, or you need to check to make sure a firestorm's not coming through. Like that's kind of what I thought it would be more of. But now it's just
Right.
like it's like all right, I have to go through this area where I know there's always going to be a fire,
Right.
So
or
I can just circumvent it.
There's always going to be a boss right above the
Or I
pizza
know
guy.
there's always BBs in this field or whatever. Like I do wish that stuff was a bit more dynamic for sure.
For Gaia Expedition, I was kind of talking about it earlier. Like, the game direction is a lot of gameplay and like story in between the gameplay. And I think Claire Expedition clearly is by an independent team that's done this for the first time. It's not polished, and that's why I am kind of against it winning awards, because it's just like, yeah, it's good, but like I think somebody commented maybe the fact that it's getting nominated says that like just because it's janky doesn't mean it can't get awards. But when I vote for these things and I look at it, I really look at like top of class, and like Expedition just isn't it for in some degree. Narratively, yes, but gameplay, I'm like, yeah, I found Expedition 33 really janky, and that's why KCD 2 didn't win awards, or KCD 1 didn't win awards. It was really fucking janky, and that jank kind of like.
And there still even is a tiny bit of it in too, but much less so.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Ghost of Yote, kind of the same thing with Spider-Man. We're getting like a good game again, and it's the same game, and there's no iteration.
I agree.
And we didn't play Hades, but I think I read that out.
Yeah,
I did.
yeah.
Okay, Game of the Year. Let's finish her up.
Finish her off.
Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. Our nominations are Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I'm going to read our poll,
Please do, yeah.
which is all over the place. 33.3 for Claire Obscure. 16.7 for KCD 2, Death Stranding 2, Bonanza, and Silksong. I think that's really reflective of probably how this award's going to shape up. I think it's like, what's your flavor?
What's your flavor? Yeah, pick your poison.
Yeah, there's a lot of different games here. And Bonanza, we haven't even talked about anything Nintendo. I omitted the Family Award because we didn't play any of those games.
I do want to. I have decided I want to get a Switch 2 at the beginning of next year, so that will happen.
Yeah,
I'm going to trade in my 2 Switches probably, but we'll see.
What is your game of the year as of these nominees trio?
I think it's, unsurprisingly, absolutely KCD2 for me. I can't. I'll just start repeating myself again, so I won't get into that too much. It's just really great.
And something you didn't mention about KCD2, and I mentioned it. I don't know if it was to you or where it was. The fact that all its DLC came out in its year and it ended right around now.
Right. It really did give it a nice little extra push.
Right. It's like back in the, not the zeitgeist, but it's back in the conversation again. Because like they released their Game of the Year edition, all the DLC's out. Where
they did a sale on it too, I think, recently and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're talking about like, I must have said this on the podcast or something like that. Yeah, we did. Atomic Heart is been out for 4 years and is still releasing DLC.
The last,
it's like trying to like cling to relevance.
Well, and I will say, even with like something like Atomic Heart, like I think those are much bigger and much broader than what you get from the first 3 DLCs in KCD. But I think that also speaks to the team over at Workhorse. It is Workhorse, right? Warhorse. Thank you. I'm sorry. Warhorse. They know how to pace themselves. They're like, we're going to give you one pretty large quest line. It's this one that they just released, but we're going to, piecemeal you out some littler stuff at the beginning that still feels, relevant and meaty. Like that brushes with death. Again, I thought that was much shorter than it really is.
Yeah, and I think it's Warhorse realizing like what they can do well and not, okay, we got to create a new map for every DLC. That would be stupid.
Right.
Because that's a lot of wasted time on development where they pretty much just have to write the story and maybe make some new, they animate it and voice it, but they don't have to make a whole new map.
Yeah.
And I don't think you need to do that. Those areas are huge. There's a lot of room to explore and continue to do things in those areas.
I hope they do that Lord of the Rings game, man. I really do. That would be fucking awesome.
What if we got that announcement?
That would be wild.
That would be insane.
Yeah. Because I guess they are now moving on to their next game, I would assume, so.
I meant to say this. I was thinking about this yesterday or maybe like over the weekend. Thinking about best anticipated game. How would you feel if the winner of that had to show a trailer?
That'd be interesting.
Because I feel like it goes into the anticipation. And like basically
it would be tough to line up with marketing teams because, people won't have everything ready at certain points.
Right.
Maybe
It's
they're
kind
not
of
ready
like,
to
hey,
go.
you're being nominated for an award. And if you win, we would like you to show something. So like
or give them even the opportunity of some kind.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think that would be
nice.
really interesting.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, like Rockstar obviously it doesn't play ball like that.
Yeah, they're like, all right,
but that would be interesting to see the winner like, hey, like you're the most anticipated game. Let's be anticipated. Here's a trailer.
Let's throw something. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
that would be really cool. My game of the year is Death Stranding 2. And that was a really hard decision for me. I was really between Death Stranding 2 and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But Death Stranding 2 on the personal and emotional level of that game really just beats it out. Seeing Kojima kind of flesh this story out again where I didn't think he needed to and told a similar story, but a much different one and focusing on loss and grief and sort of, loneliness. It's like
how to almost dig yourself out of that.
Yeah. Especially to go from Death Stranding 1 where it's like, Sam is not a part of a group, doesn't want to be a part of the group, and it's like loneliness from like a different perspective of being in a group and then sort of like having loss, ostracizing yourself, and then like sort of having like watching your family, your friends, your team, whatever, like have your back and like really, Sam is really like kind of babied through this game, like the way they like take care of him. And you think about it like with the Doll Man reveal and what he's there for, and like what what Fragile goes through to like protect Sam, and then the reveal at the end of the tomorrow of it. Fucking phenomenal. And I really just want to see Kojima win Game of the Year and go on stage for that big award. That's really important to me just to see. Obviously he lost in 2019 to Sekiro, and that was like, I think that was a huge snub. But I feel like this year it could be a similar situation where it loses to Claire Obscure or it loses to KCD2. That would be a huge win for that team. That'd be so
KCD
cool.
one?
CCC Warhorse up
Oh
there.
yeah, dude, I would love that, man.
Yeah,
I really would. They deserve it
And like,
A lot of these people do,
I
but
think
yeah.
a lot of like, I just don't think Donkey Kong Bonanza like stands up to anything else here, unfortunately. Which is like, I think this was a Zelda. This would be a much different story.
Of course. I mean, and I have heard wonderful things about Donkey
Yeah,
Kong. Like,
yeah.
I've heard nothing but great things.
Yeah, and then I think Silk Song and Hades 2, I just don't think they have the panache.
They don't have
like,
what
as the
they don't
rest
have
of
what
them.
they need.
So let me get to some write-ins, which I said I would read during it, and then totally didn't do that. I want to read one about Silk Song because we haven't really talked about it too much. With this year's indies taking the world by storm, it is only fitting for most anticipated and wish-listed indie release of all time, Hollow Knight Silk Song, to take the crown. Silk Song is the gold standard of what companies should strive for when creating their games. Not bound by corporate greed or strict deadlines, the three developers at Team Cherry put their consumers first, took their time, enjoying every second of making the game for 6 years, and released a $20 masterclass experience that hits every note and puts many AAA studios to shame. In a world where the games industry is currently in a rough spot, games like this are what we need to keep the industry thriving. Well, that's a great writing. Wow.
Good stuff.
I have to agree with you. I think this is just everything is true what you said. And I would actually now look at independent, given what you just said about that with that writing. Thank you so much. You're right. But like also there is some bad coming from that. It's like, well, you took like 7 years to make a game, and like Silk Song just got known for like not ever coming out.
And then you get the cool thing out of that you can shadow drop it, but I agree. Yeah.
$20 price tag, absolutely great.
That's awesome.
And taking your time, there is something to value there, but I think when it comes to these big awards, it's kind of hard to like look beyond. It's weird. It's because like, you know, like remember when It Takes Two won? That was huge. But like, what was it up against? Like, I'm asking that a bit rhetorically, but you know, thinking about that might not have been a weak year, and it's a strong year for like everybody. So it's like how does Silk Song like beat it out? I don't think it will. Another write-in. Even though Arc Raiders recency bias will most likely take best multiplayer category, Elden Ring Night Rain took the foundation of what FromSoft has built up before with Elden Ring and their previous games, and their B team made a bold multiplayer roguelike experience with many new innovative ideas that stand amongst other entries. And one more. I chose Donkey Kong Bonanza simply because it's the first new DK game in years, as well as the first 3D platform since DK64. Looking forward to playing it. Also, I'm probably not the only one that's not under Gooch's anti-Nintendo propaganda. I mean, I a lot of people liked it, but you know, again, like I just said, I think it's hard for DK to pull punches against Death Stranding 2 and Clair Obscura. It's almost like not fair.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's a different kind of game for sure, and it's something you have to take into account to a degree. But you know, if it makes that type of impact, I don't know, because I think Expedition's a different type of game too, but people just love it. Like, I don't know. Like, it feels like, and I don't mean cheap in a bad way, but it just feels like a much more AA, lower end game in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and there's a lot of charm
and
to
people are fine with that and are willing to. So like, I don't know,
which is great.
Yeah,
it's great.
No, it is great.
It's great that
so,
like not every game of the year is like AAA, EA.
So does that mean EA? I mean, like Donkey Kong should be up there? Yeah, I think so. Kind of. Yeah.
What do you think is going to be announced?
I don't know. I saw something about, you posted that Sands of Time thing. I actually saw something about that like a week ago. I'm curious. I'd play a Sands of Time remake if it's actually done and ready to go. I don't know what else could be like thrown out there. Elder Scrolls 6. Todd comes out. It's out now. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't.
I think we could see Fable. Fable's slated for 2026, but my big one, and this is the
creme de la creme.
This is the meme. I think more than ever before, we could see Half-Life 3.
I know that does I keep seeing things about that with the Valve release.
I would have ever said this, but
there's a chance.
There's a chance. Valve being on top of things with the Steam machine, and that's looming now. We don't know the release date, but like Half-Life 3 launching for everything, but you know, launching with the Steam machine is a move.
Huge. Yeah.
Also, Jeff's career started with Valve. He was part of the making of like oh shit, it was called like, there's a documentary about Half-Life 1, like 48 hours like after Half-Life or something like that. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Documentary Half-Life 1. It's really like well known. Anyway, Jeff definitely got his start with Valve. So I feel like giving him that announcement would be pretty apt.
Right.
So that's kind of why I'm thinking it. Otherwise, I wouldn't like, if this is like an E3, I don't think I'd say that. That could be possible. But yeah, I don't really know what's gonna be announced.
GTA 7.
No, definitely not. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot like there was a lot of talk that Colin thinks Intergalactic is going to be shown.
He said it could. If you watch the, I didn't listen. No. I know. I keep seeing I keep seeing people toss around. They're like,
they took
Colin said that he's got like. It's not even like taking out of context. They just created a different context. He was saying, from what I understand, I think it's content complete. We could maybe get a reveal this at the Game Awards, like a more detailed reveal. I don't really know. But then people were reporting on that, like Colin Moriarty says that they will announce Intergalactic at what I mean?
I don't think we'll see Intergalactic. I think we'll see Judas. I think we'll get it. We could get a date. That's really possible.
I really don't know.
Judas has been looming way too long. Like,
it's been officially looming for like a year now, 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
But like we've known that they've been working on it for a long time.
We had just looking at the write-ins we announced, a lot of people were kind of like, yeah, I don't really know. But one person wrote in, with the Night Rain DLC having been released by the time the Game Awards is taking place, the Duskbloods promotional cycle can continue, and what better time than a new trailer at the show? Other than that, it would be cool to see the next upcoming Monster Hunter Wilds DLC and new Resident Evil Requiem trailer. That's possible.
Yeah.
If anything for Requiem, it would be like more story focused, because I feel like we just don't know a lot about that game. But like maybe they want to keep their cards.
I would have
close
said the Fallout 3 remaster too, but I think they're going to shadow drop that like they did with Oblivion.
Oh god, that's gonna suck, dude.
I think they're going to shadow drop Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh my god.
Did you? Because I watched that interview with Todd.
Where did he say that?
He was. I can't. It was a GQ interview.
Okay.
And he was just like, it's a while off, and he started talking about the shadow drop of Oblivion. He's like, well, that was kind of a test, if I'm honest with you, and it worked really well. So, dude, if they were like, hey, Elder Scrolls 6,
that's gonna make me so upset because I'm not gonna have the time to like prepare.
Here's the Elder Scrolls. Like, if they truly managed to pull off, here's the Elder Scrolls 6 trailer. It's out in 2 months. I'd be like, what?
2 months, I'd be fine with.
Yeah. That's like, I doubt that they would be like, here's Elder Scrolls 6.
Right, because like they want to sell the collector's edition. But they will do
that, I think, with Fallout 3, and I think they do that with a New Vegas remake. The remakes, they're good to go.
Yeah. It sucks for us physical guys who want that physical copy.
I know. Now you can get Oblivion physically, too, which is funny. I might actually pick it up. And I didn't get Chronos physically either, like an idiot. But we'll talk about that.
We were talking about Snubs earlier. I'm looking over. We were talking about the Arc Raiders, being possibly some people's game of the year. It was a pipe dream to have Arc Raiders this late in the year to be nominated for game of the year, but glad it got the multiplayer nom. I'm surprised to see no Dispatch voice actors getting nominated. From what I saw, Aaron Paul was fantastic in that game. That's an interesting comment too.
Mm-hmm.
Laura Bailey being in that as well, and yeah, I think you're right. Especially a game so focused on characters and performances. Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't think games should be able to be nominated for best debut indie game and game of the year, and also I guess. Oh, okay. Maybe this is what it's saying. Well, maybe all three. Best indie game, best debut indie, best indie game, and game of the year. Obviously, the winner will be the one that was nominated for game of the year. Yeah, you're kind of right.
No, that's a fair point.
If Silk Song wins game of the year, I guess that means it's the best indie game of the year. Like,
you would think so. Yeah, by default. Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting. I think interesting thought. Because if you win game of the year, wouldn't that mean you're also the best indie game of the year? Technically, yeah.
It would make sense.
That's like semantics and rewards and stuff. And unfortunately, it probably doesn't matter.
Right.
And it's only going to be certain years that those those kind of situations line up. Like I think it's a really rare year where you have two bigger
They're
indies.
in all of those categories, right?
Yeah, and it's funny. I don't even consider Supergiant Games an indie developer, even though they are, because they have so much success and so much money after Hades that I feel like it's like they're not in the same category as Team Cherry. They're
Definitely.
not in the same category as Claire Obscure or even Megabonk or something like that. Like those are 4 different indie games from 4 vastly different
Levels of
ecosystems.
like people. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's weird. So this Game Awards trio, any final thoughts? We've talked a lot.
No, not particularly. I'm a little disappointed in some of the noms. I'm a little disappointed in some of the folks who, were left out. But, that is what it is. It's an award show. It's bound to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck Expedition 33. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, if we're sitting in this basement and that
Just Expedition.
oh my God, I'm just gonna be so upset because it sucks, right? You want to see, you want to see like a vary,
right?
And the Oscars can kind of be in that situation, maybe a little less so. I think even more so with the sweeps. It's like, all right, here's Expedition or whatever game winning every award. It's like not really fun, regardless if it deserves it. Like, I don't know. It's this year is a weird year. There's so many good games. I say that every year. That every year is a weird year. It's really hard to objectively and like look at all this and sort of determine. It sucks.
None of it's ever objective, and that's the thing. It's always going to come down to a feeling to a degree.
I feel like game of the year should. You're right.
There's just no way to objectively do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's kind of like
there's going to be some feelings.
I try to objectively look at all this stuff, and I guess I probably haven't, but like. It sucks that Death Stranding 2 is also a really like AAA level game with a lot of polish and a lot of like creative energy.
And again, I think the thing that stacks,
which also is emotionally driven,
and it's also a second. It's a sequel, And I think maybe you could actually bring up some of those same points about KCD 2, and I think they're very fair. But that's just always going to be part of it.
I still don't understand how Jeff does not have a best remake remaster category.
Blows my mind.
Insane.
I don't know.
Not that I think Elder Scrolls 4. Oblivion needs to win, but there are enough remakes and remasters to make the category.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy. I think. I mean, we can give Jeff some feedback on the next episode. If anything, I think Jeff needs to rework a lot of awards.
I totally agree.
And it's not RPG, action adventure game.
No,
it's the weirder ones like Adaptation. What's nominated for it? Performance. What was it? Just
Games for Impact, like all the random just bullet. Like
what was I just saying?
The awards that like he needs to swap out and stuff like that, or like that.
Oh, the remake, remaster.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Sorry, train of thought. We're talking a lot of things here.
Sorry,
but Trio, I think that about does it for us.
I think that does about do it for us, Gooch. Thank you all so much for watching with us live on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network. We really do appreciate your time. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network on your service of choice. We got a Facebook page, Discord channel, all that good stuff will be linked down below. We're at Delco Nerds on everything with an @ on those social medias. You can find all this information on our website, DelcoNerdNetwork.com. You can even email us your comments, questions, or concerns to DelcoNerds@gmail.com. We are happy to get back to you. But for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy. We will see you next time.